Hello and welcome to Sanctums and Spies. This is our fourth session here with our party. My name is Josh Croker. I am the Dungeon Master for this game. To get a little housekeeping out of the way at the top of the session here, music. We have a couple places where we do music. Filmmusic.io is one of those places. Information down in the panels for each of those songs there with a link where you can purchase licensing, listen to the music, get all the information that you need. That is down in the panels. Also down in the panels, we have some new music as well. Very excited to be using Welcome to Taldore and Welcome to Wildmount from the group over at Critical Role. There is links down in the panels there. Also, although it's not for each song, it is a link to the albums where you can purchase those and listen to some of the great music. So there might be some new music that you hear, maybe some familiar music that you hear as well. And if you want to, we have 2 spots open in this game currently here, Sanctums and Spies. If you want more information on the campaign and how you can join, there's a link down to startplaying.games, and you can sign up there. All right, enough with that. Time to get into the game. Before we do the recap for the session, though, I want to offer up for the players who wants to do a lore drop in exchange for inspiration here at the beginning of the session. Any takers?
I said I might do this this week because I was new last week. Can you remind me what the deal is?
So you just drop a little tidbit about your character that is, dropped into the canon about your character. It's not something necessarily, you can keep secret stuff in the backstory if you want to. You don't have to give something away. It's completely optional, but if you drop a little lore about your character, then you get inspiration.
I can give a little example. Juwan, his favorite food is a delicacy over in the Menagerie Coast, snake lock noodles. He's rather particular of them. Tried them at during one of his ventures along the coast.
Very nice. Inspiration for you.
Professor Mayfield has 12 grandkids. Eventually, they will all get names, and I will forget all of them.
Just as grandparents do.
Got it. Okay, inspiration for you for Professor Mayfield for this one. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna hop in then, and with that we get to the return of where we ended the last session, with the group split up a bit. Both Urya and Jawan ventured outside of Asarius, down to the Sorrowseep waters, to do a little bit of scouting and see what they could find. After talking to the captain of a ship called the Divide, had a little bit of an encounter in the water there while doing some fishing, in which Urya decided to test the waters, shall we say, and spend a little bit of time swimming around with a very, very large shark that was swimming around there on the shore of the Sorrowseep waters, attracted to the blood of the fishing. Acacia, Professor Mayfield, and Winnie were doing a little bit of shopping, looking around Asarius for something that might help them hide Acacia's newly acquired bracers that were found in the hole that led to an odd set of underground chambers underneath Asarius. Although get my notes here. Although Vizdrana did not have the specific spell they're looking for, she was able to help out with another one with Wrist Pocket, a spell that creates a small pocket dimension, and might be something that Winnie would be able to use to hide the existence of these bracers if needed. After that, they were heading off to gather some ink and supplies to help Winnie work on learning that spell. And that brings us back to today. Let's start with the group in town, Acacia, Winnie, and Professor Mayfield. As you walk through the North Roads, the nicer part of Asarius here, you walk through the streets, and even though there's a large drow population, it is during the day, and you don't see many of the drow walking around during the day. There are still half-orcs, even some goblins here in this area, wearing a bit nicer clothes than what you'd see in the Creets or the Pits. But you walk through the streets from Equinox to find the Raven's Quill. And as you do, pass through a large square, a large city square, that you see a large building with almost a geometric shape over the top of the door. Looks like some kind of religious building. But as you do, you see just outside of this square is the destination that you're looking for, the Raven's Quill. What would you like to do?
I think it's best that we go inside and check it out and see if we can get these other supplies that we're going to need.
Well, yes, the supplies that I need in order to transcribe that scroll will cost 100 gold for those. And I don't have that much. I could maybe give 25 or so.
Kind of in the same boat, money-wise. So
I could always use the scroll one time, as is. But if we want to be able to use it multiple times, then I'll need to put it into my spell book. But we have some time, so, and as much as it unnerves me to do it, Verlis Olios did say he's got some jobs for us, and I certainly don't mind working for the money. It's just I don't really trust him, but if it's honest jobs, I've got no problem working for it.
I think that's the route we're going to have to go. Just trying to see what else we can pick up to make some money.
Yeah. How about you, Professor? You want to try to go make some money?
I'm down.
All right. Well, I guess it can't hurt to at least see what's on offer.
So I guess it's probably in our best interest to head back to the Aurora Hold to see what's available.
Okay, and it's been a few hours since the group had been to the Aurora Hold to speak with Verlis the first time. It is getting a little bit later in the day at this point, but if you wanted to go to the Aurora Hold now to see what those offers consisted of, you're free to go back and see if you can get a hold of Verlis.
Yeah,
we could do that, and maybe our houses will be ready. I've never stayed in a guardsman's house before.
And for the sake of this, we'll just say that you had been given directions to these small dwellings in advance. So if you wanted to travel there now and get settled in, that's up to you on whether you wanted to do that or go to the Aurora Hole.
Up to you. It wouldn't hurt to at least find out what's on offer and maybe prepare to tackle it at first light when the others rejoin us.
Yeah, I second that.
I third that. Seems the most effective way to go. I mean, the houses aren't going anywhere, so
Okay, got it.
Yeah, let's go see what's on the job board.
Okay. So the group of three moves past the Raven's Quill and out of the square back towards the large looming tower that is visible from pretty much anywhere in Asarius, with its stained glass windows and pagoda-style roofs as you head back to the Aurora Hold. With that, we'll switch back over to Udia and Jawan. What are the two of you doing after the fishing and time spent in the water?
I mean, I guess we kind of found what we were looking for a little bit. I mean, we found a hidey hole. And
information.
Yeah, we did get extra information. So, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not super excited or ready to go to these houses, which I'm thoroughly convinced are under watch. Once we're there, they're gonna know everywhere we go. Oh yeah, what did we get ourselves into?
I don't know. But, I mean, will it be dark if we start making our way back to town right now?
Yes, you guys did a little traveling to get to the Sarasip waters. You could make it back to Asarius about the time it gets just past dark. So there'd be a little bit of travel in the dark, but nothing that is overly concerning or anything like that.
I mean, we could always make our way back and then leave town tomorrow again.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got to be something to pass the time. I'm sure there's some of you that are wanting to probably do some work for this den, but I don't know. I think it's got to be something else, somewhere else, another means to kill time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless we hide these gauntlets for another 6 days. Because if at any point in time between now and then they find them, they're gonna ask questions.
Yeah.
So we're not even really just trying to find a means and methods of hiding it that day. I mean, we really have to kind of figure out a long-term plan, as it were.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think we need to hide them until then. I don't think that we need to hide them that day. But we definitely can't let the Aurora Watch or whatever his name is figure out that we have them. For sure.
Well, maybe we take another trip out this way tomorrow. I said I can leave a little bit in the area. I mean, he can keep a watch. Maybe if he sees something or somebody come by and take him, come find us. Or at least come to the house. Like, it might be too little too late at that point, but it's better than knowing nothing.
Yeah. I think we need to go back and talk to them.
Yeah. You sure you don't want to go swimming with the shark one more time?
Don't tempt me. But I also don't want to be out at night.
Yeah. Fair point. I haven't really been out too much. Yeah, after dark. I mean, even when we were traveling, we try to settle in early.
I prefer to travel at night, but I don't see anything here which concerns me. It's so empty.
Yeah, it is a little quiet.
Yeah. Alright. Let's get to trucking.
Yep. Alright.
And as the two of you begin the trek back to Asarius, you feel a light wind blowing, picking up some dirt and sand across the wastes here on the way to Asarius. And spend the time walking up along the river, moving towards the entrance to the City of Beasts. As both of you are moving, can you roll me each a perception check?
Ooh. Yeah, not great. 9.
9.
5.
5. Okay,
We're
got it.
on it.
We are so on it.
So on it, and really, there's not much definition in the twilight hours here of the evening. Uh, uh, there is probably about 250 feet away from you both when you notice it. Can't tell much about what it is, but there's a very flat, a flat view from here all the way to Asarius at this point, after about half of the journey so far. But you do see about 250 feet away or so, just a little bump. You can't, it looks more kind of, more colorful than a rock. You can't tell much about what it is, but there is some sort of little bump here on the ground that looks unnatural, not like a rock or a feature of the land.
Do you think it's an animal, or do you think it's an assassin?
Honestly, I can't really tell from here, but let's just not get too close. I'll keep an eye on it as we're moving. Make sure it doesn't try to charge us or something as we're going.
Yeah.
Okay. So you both take a wide berth around this, moving around, keeping about the same distance. And as you do, you don't notice any movement at all. Don't see that it moves in any way, but you move past it without any issue if you want to just keep moving.
Yeah, I have no interest in stopping.
Yeah.
All right, as you move beyond this area here, you see as the sun sets over the horizon, the purple Vermalock wood gate start to rise in the distance. Get closer, follow the path up to the main part of the city. See the two ogre guards who have very large, almost kind of patched together Aurora Watch armor. It seems like it's maybe kind of been specially made, but not given the care that some of the, I guess, normal size members of the Aurora Watch would have. But it works, and they've got large weapons on them and look intimidating for anybody entering into the city. And you both make your way as it starts to get dark. Before that time happens, though, what is, or rather not what is, the group of 3 who are in Asarius, this would kind of be dusk time that you 3 would have gotten to the Aurora Hold, but you see the familiar entrance doors, the stained glass windows, walk into the foyer entrance, and there's not the magnificent, almost otherworldly light coming through the stained glass windows here in dusk, just because of the angle of the sun and where the light's hitting. But there is still that air of solemnity. It's quiet here. It still feels like a place that is owed a bit of respect, or at least it's putting off that way. You pull the braided rope and see the familiar face of the human who has seen you all as a group now a couple of times, but he takes the request and goes and retrieves Verlas, and after a short wait of a few minutes, Verlas comes back out. I see you've returned. I hear you would like to inquire about some of the jobs we had available, the things to take care of that often go to Aurora Watch.
Yeah, we're figuring to give us something to do to keep us busy for, the next couple days. Better than just sitting idle.
Agreed. And he opens up a scroll and starts looking through and says, "Well, at the estate of it's here." At the estate of Broduli Nadro, here in the North Roads, there was a bit of an escape of animals at his estate. They want a report filed and signed for the break-in so that they might recoup some of their losses in a business arrangement that they have to cover any such losses. We'd give you a seal of the Aurora Watch so that you may sign and stamp the report on our behalf. Let's see. We recently had a series of break-ins in the North Roads here. It looks like there was a break-in at the Temple of the Luxon 2 days previous. Beyond that, reports of breaking and entering, stealing objects from more wealthy members of Asarius. That is here in the North Roads. And this one is a bit less directed. We don't have any location to look, but the Children of Malice have been known, or rather have been seen a bit more frequently than Denolius would like here in Asarius. We've learned that there is a presence in the city, and we need to know how deep that presence is and root it out. Any information or knowledge that you could bring to Denolius about this would be greatly rewarded.
So I just want to be clear. I'm with Winnie and Acacia right now, right?
Yeah, you're here for this.
Okay. I'm going to use my ability for the first time, Psychic Whispers. I'm going to choose 2 creatures, which is both of them. And now I'm going to mark it off. For 1d6 hours, that's 6. So for 6 hours, we communicate telepathically. However, I've never done this before. And I'm doing it by accident. So you hear in your head, you hear my voice in your head, and you hear me say, I'm not really interested in the crime, especially if they're only robbing from the rich people. They could probably afford it. But then I realized I said that, and I didn't open my mouth, and you heard it, and it didn't come from any particular direction. And then I just have a confused look on my face. And I sort of stand around for a few seconds.
And Verla says, "Oh, is there something wrong?"
I don't think so. Maybe. Don't worry about it.
Right. And just kind of goes back to waiting for a response.
Oh, right, about the jobs. Yeah, what about the flying puppy? Someone in the chat says, I want a flying puppy. I don't know, whatever job it is.
The beasts that were released from Baduli Nadro's estate, I don't have the type that was released. Something large, something that caused quite a bit of damage. But I would imagine that... oh, yes, correct, yeah. There is a credit offered to any of Nadro's animals that he sells in the pits. Although you would have to travel to the pits for that and work it out with them. I'm here to just pass along this one.
I'd be really into that one. A colleague of mine studies zoology. She would be fascinated to see what I could gather from these beasts. And plus, I'm really good with animals. They like me. I have proficiency in animal handling. So that's my vote. But, I want to be agreeable. So
when he asks which one pays the best.
An excellent question.
Well, if you're able to find information about the Children of Malice, then it is a bit subjective to what the information is and how useful it is. But if you were to find enough that we could eliminate the presence of the Children of Malice in the city, 5,000 gold pieces is offered for routing them out. For the Brujuli estate reporting, we offer 25 gold pieces for the time for you to do it. That is simply because our Aurora Watch is too busy for this particular job. So that is what you'd receive from us. What you'd receive from the Nadro estate, however, is whatever you work out with them.
And 25 each?
25 each, yes. If you could give a bit of investigating or looking around, just to, give the whatever you see fit once you arrive there, if that's what you choose. For the thefts, if you are able to apprehend and return the perpetrator of the thefts in the North Roads, you can receive 3,000 gold pieces dead, 4,000 gold pieces alive. And for the return of any objects, that will be... I'm sure that any who receive objects back that were stolen from them will be quite generous with their reward, as those in the North Roads often are.
And what does Winnie understand about the Children of Malice?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
History.
If I'm a historian, can I roll that too?
I would say, yeah, you can both roll, or one of you can roll with advantage if you wanted to help out with that.
I'll roll, because I'm good at history.
Okay. Yeah, so both of you can roll.
23.
8.
8. Winnie, this one escapes you. It's interesting because it seems like more of a Kryn detail to remember, but it is details more of their past and where they came from, and the splinter groups that arose from that. However, Professor Mayfield, you do remember quite well, because this was something that intrigued you initially, and in researching the history of the Kryn dynasty, that originally when the Drow left the Underdark in the Jorhassian wastes, they were breaking off from a group of other Drow that worshipped the spider goddess Lolth. And that the Children of Malice that exist now are Drow who continue to worship Lolth, who believe that those who worship the Luxon, that those who serve the Kryn dynasty are heretical, that they are or that they have moved beyond what they think is that the Drow should be doing, that all Drow should be serving Lolth, that she is their master, and that they will go to violent lengths to achieve their goals.
So all Winnie and Acacia hear me thinking this in my head.
Okay.
As I'm recalling the information, I sort of look up and to the right, and I'm like, what was it again? The Children of Lot, the Drow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think they're a dangerous bunch.
Well, so are we.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know. You look kind of dangerous because you're big, but maybe not.
I don't know. I'm nervous to try, and I guess this is all just going on in our heads while
right.
who else is waiting for an answer. Hopefully it's happening lightning fast.
We'll say just with the nature, I'll give some justification here for the wibbly wobbly aspect of the time of the conversation. With the nature of the psychic communication, rather than having to go through and say a whole sentence, it's almost kind of transmitted in thoughts. The way the mind speaks is transmitted through thoughts, and you kind of have, rather than hearing those specific words, you're getting these images passing through your head, and you can still feel the voice of Professor Mayfield coming and telling you these things, but it's an odd experience to communicate this way, where it's nice and quick.
Yeah, and I'm not eager to deal with the Luxon Temple, but that seems to pay a lot better. And I assume, the 3,000 and the 5,000, that's total job, not each.
Correct. Yeah, correct on those. Yeah, exactly.
But man, that's more money than I've ever seen. and that my family will. That's more money than my family has ever earned or will ever earn in the entire history of my family.
Well, sounds like a good motivator then.
Yeah. But is it too hard? Do we want to try rounding up the escaped animals and then move on from there? I guess these jobs may not be there always.
DM, with my history check, do I have any knowledge of precisely how dangerous these people are? I don't actually have a knowledge of how dangerous we are, but I haven't seen that yet. I don't know.
Sure. There's certainly been attacks on the Kreen dynasty. They are willing to be violent. They worship Lolth, and Lolth is one of the betrayer gods, one of the gods that's considered evil, who is trapped behind the divine gate, but still doing what they can to exert their influence, their divine influence on this world. And so they're willing to go to great lengths. They're willing to be violent. They do draw power from Lolth. They have arcane capabilities. The drow themselves are cunning, and so they are pretty formidable. Sure.
Okay, so I am messaging all that in my head, the knowledge of the Lolth and the arcane capabilities and the willingness to use violence. And I say, Winnie, Acacia, I mean, look, I'm always up to make some money, you know. Not always, right? You don't want to do anything bad, but in this case, I think it's fine. And I'm happy to go with you guys. You both seem like swell people, but just want to make sure that, you know, you're up potentially for things to get a little heated.
Oh dear. Oh bother. I don't think dealing with the children of malice seems like a bad idea. It seems scary. Maybe if we try the middle one, you know,
Okay.
Why don't we Goldilocks? That famous Exandrian tale.
Yes, I'm a historian. I know that tale.
Maybe try the break-ins, and if we're not very successful, then we'll try the animals.
Now, I do have a question, and this question is for the group broadly, but I don't want to be a hostile DM in this, so I want to ask a retroactive question that I didn't ask before you walked to the Aurora Hold. Acacia, what are you doing with the bracers when you return to Verlis?
They are up underneath her cloak, so
Okay.
they're not directly visible.
Okay. Not wearing them into the Aurora Hold, though.
Well, she has them on, but they're like underneath her cloak.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're still wearing them. You're just holding them in a way.
Mhm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try the. Wow. I mean, $3,000 or $4,000 would be a lot of money. Do we think we can do it in the days before the Umavi comes, so we can get that? I guess that's overkill just to get one spell.
You know, I have a feeling, just a hunch, just a product of my intuition, but I have a feeling we can really do just about anything if we put our minds to it. Don't ask me why I think that. I just kind of do.
Well, that's very inspirational of you.
Yes. It's like I had
Maybe-
inspiration from the beginning of the session.
Maybe I'll if you find a tiny object that you would like to have inscribed, or
Yes, I was actually going to ask you about
I
that.
can make it for you. But
Yes, I take
maybe-
out a tiny. It's very small. It's what is it called? The thing that goes around your wrist, a bracelet.
Mhm.
And it's got little plastic beads of all different bright colors, and it's got those like dice that have like the words on it, and it says love. And I say, my one of my grandchildren made this for me, and I wanted to give it back to her, but you know, if you could, I don't know, make it smell nice or something, that would be swell.
Sure. Once we find our lodgings, why don't we powwow either over dinner or after dinner, and we can come up with something together.
Yeah, she said it would keep me safe while I was away.
Oh,
So,
that's so
I keep it
sweet.
with me, and I put it back in my pocket.
Okay. In the meantime, why don't we try? I don't know. The children of malice are scary. I am not brave. Let's try the break-ins. What do you
Okay.
think?
Sure.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad place to start. And I mean, if Maria and Juan want to bite off something bigger, we can always go that route too.
Or if they want to do the animals. I mean, the animals are. I love the animals, but they just don't pay as well. And we need paper. Paper is so expensive here.
You can get more money out of Nerdulino.
But we don't know how much.
I mean, every little bit helps, and it's not like he's talking small change here. Like, it's a lot of gold. Even if above and beyond the paper and stuff, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other supplies that we might need to get our hands on, especially if things get rocky with these lizards.
Yeah. Let's try the break-ins. And if that seems too hard, we'll try rounding up the animals.
Burles says, whatever you decide, please report back after it's done, and we'll be glad to reward you accordingly. However, all this talk is wonderful, but I've got things I need to attend to. Is there anything else you need from me?
Well, if we're going to try the break-ins, I know you said there was one at the Luxon Temple, so we can start there, but do you have any other information or insights to get us started with?
Let's see. Here on the North Roads. He grabs and opens his scroll. Yes. There's the trick sleeve. It is a tailor. Often does small hidden magical enchantments. That is one of the more recent break-ins. There was also the Iron Blade. It's a smithy run by an orc. His name is Hammer Sharptooth.
Sharptooth.
Where would you like to go first? Oh, sorry.
Were those the only three?
Those are the only three I have in my notes. Seems like there may be more, but if they weren't communicated to me, I'm sure there'll be those who in the North Roads who'd be happy to point you in the right direction.
Okay. We'll work on it and do our best.
Fantastic. Well, then I hope to see you all soon.
Okay. Good night.
And we'll say that Udia and Jawan are back into the city, and the route to the dwellings was kind of the way you have to go is it's a little bit beyond the North Roads and kind of a corner up there, so you would have to pass by the Aurora Hold. For the sake of bringing back everybody together, we could say that you're passing out in front of the Aurora Hold as the other three exit.
Hi. Fancy meeting you here.
Are we taking another job?
Well, there's a
Yeah.
little different that we can kind of choose from, sort of ranging in lethality, as it were.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, we decided to investigate a series of break-ins. That seemed straightforward enough.
Winnie, as you say that, you hear a voice behind you. Winnie, I might have a couple things for you. And you turn around and you see Christopher is there. with a few roughly cut pieces of paper, with a kind of nervous look on his face as he's not very familiar with the North Roads and feeling uncomfortable in this neighborhood here where the Drow are. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Winnie's friends.
Christopher, it's so good to see you. She gives him a big hug. Meet my big brother. This is Christopher.
Hello.
Hi. Hey.
Dog.
Hi, everyone. Good to meet you. Thanks, Winnie, and to all of you for the help in the Cretes. It's a little bit of a mess down where the hole was, but word's traveled through the Cretes, and Winnie, we got a couple of people coming to our house to try and get the group to help. And so I thought I'd come find you with some of them.
Oh, so people in the Cretes want our help?
Yeah. Well, mostly the Cretes. You know Zorth from Zorth's Pits, the animal dealer. His favorite moorbounder, Daisy, was taken from his stables, and you know how it is down there. It's more trade than anything else. But Zorth is willing to offer 2 baby moorbounders to.
We'll take it.
If the moorbounders return, if Daisy's return.
Oh my gosh, sweet Daisy! How is your?
We'll do it.
How is her best buddy companion Yarnball taking it? Is he very depressed?
Apparently they all are. Daisy kind of ran the show around there, so yeah, and kind of points at her. This one likes animals, I can tell. And points at Rhea.
Well, I didn't realize from what Verlis was saying that Daisy was taken. I thought that some of them had just gotten loose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What do you think, guys? Should we try to find Daisy?
I'll do anything.
There is a couple more. The Tortoiseback neighborhood, the Goblin Tortoiseback neighborhood down there in the Cretes. They got a giant poisonous snake. It's gotten loose, and need some help taking it out. It's taking out a goblin. A little bit of money they've collected there is about 70 gold, but the brother of the goblin who's killed, he offered to help anybody as much as he can while they're in Asarius with your group. They made the offer that while you're in Asarius, he'd be here. And he'd help you guys out as much as he can. And then the river, there's a crossing at the river. Two of the alligators got out of the, crocodiles. 2 of the crocodiles got out of some of the paddies and got into the river. And they've grown a little big. A fishing spot that's very popular has been taken over, and the local fishing group here. I wouldn't exactly call it a guild, but they do. They offer 200 gold pieces and enough fish for a year from the river if you're able to kill the crocodiles.
I'll do anything. Anything you ask, I'll do it.
Yeah, I know we thought we wanted to do the break-ins because that paid more money, but maybe we should do this, and then if we do this, maybe some of the people in the Cretes can help us solve the break-ins later in the North Roads. We'll just put a pin in that.
Honestly, the fewer times I have to come back by this place, I wouldn't be mad. So these other jobs do sound much more enticing than whatever Verlius had to say.
I also think we should probably stay as far away from here as possible, just in general. We found out some stuff, and I'd like to talk to Winnie about it, but not here.
Okay. Well, it's getting late, so I guess we should... And dark. We're not going to find anything in the dark, so maybe we should rest up and start looking for Daisy in the morning. I don't think she'll go very far. She's so attached to the other moorbounders there. I'm surprised that she left at all.
It sounded like she might have been taken, Winnie.
Oh, no. All right, we'll find her. We have an excellent tracker here.
Great.
This is our friend Joanne. He's very good at tracking.
John.
I mean, I'll do my best. I think you all mentioned break-ins too. I wonder if it's all attached, connected in some way. Who knows? But like I said, I'd rather help the people of this city than the den. But it is starting to get late, and we are kind of talking our plans in the streets.
Yeah, well, let's go. We can go back to our... Oh, Christopher, they gave us little houses. Can you imagine it? You have to come look at it with me.
Your own house? Just to yourself?
I think so.
What?
Unless I misunderstood.
Oh, those drow. Oh, boy. Wow.
Before we go to our accommodations, Winnie, do you know of any place where we can talk without being overheard? Because I don't think that's going to be the place where we stay.
Yeah, I mean, and I can kind of sweep for any kind of arcane listening as well, but otherwise, there's probably plenty of bars in the creeks that they would be hard pressed to eavesdrop on.
Sure. I just don't think we should have the conversation I want to have near the Aurora Hold or basically anybody around here.
All right, well, let's do a pub crawl through the creeks.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. You coming, Christopher? We have a little bit of money on us.
Sure. I'll actually, you know what? Give me a persuasion check on that, because he's still looking pretty nervous.
Persuasion. My big brother is very upright. 9. He's not going to come.
9. I'm sorry, Winnie. I got to get back. It's an early day tomorrow out on the farm.
Okay. Well, give my love to everyone.
Of course. Stay safe.
All right,
Mom.
you too.
Mom
And
and
I'll
Dad
come
say
by.
hi.
Maybe we'll come by in the morning and get any extra information, or if you have papers for me, I can study the
Sure.
information overnight.
Sure. And he just passes them over, and it's just very. Hey, the one about Zor's Pits looks very, very kind of scratchily written, but you're able to read it. The other two are just kind of similar notes. One, the one that's for the Tortoiseback neighborhood, has a couple of different, it looks like bits of handwriting. One about some of the details, talking about how it's been a couple days. The second from, it looks like somebody offering. And in terms of the mechanics there, the person to help would be considered a level 1 psychic, if that is what the group decides to do to take that one. And then for the one that looks the most formal is the one from the fishing guild that kind of has it's like a weird fish standard that kind of looks like a mutated fish with 2 heads on the top, but it says that they're willing to offer 200 gold pieces and fish for a year to anybody who can stop the people killers that are currently by the bridges in the river.
And they're crocodiles that are...
Crocodiles, yes, correct.
Crocodiles, okay. Yeah, well, man, that would be a nice boon, and people in the creeks need to fish. Food's not that plentiful there.
Sounds exciting too.
Oh, which by the way, and I just hold up the 2 fish we caught and like, here, we got dinner, or Jawan got dinner.
Oh, great! I bet our little houses have a place we can cook them. Or sometimes if you take food to the creeks, for a portion of the food or for a small fee, they'll cook it for you if you're drinking there.
That sounds like a great idea.
Sorry.
BYO fish.
Or we could cook it in one of our little houses. They probably have a little kitchen.
If you want to lead the way, I'll follow you to whatever bar you want to take me. You are the party planner of this pub crawl.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the drinking tent.
So Winnie knows of a series of taverns and places to drink that are here in Asarius. There is a drinking tent that is not to be confused with just drinks down the road, but it is considered a goblin tavern that's mostly open-aired and rowdy, but they can put up more tent or less tent depending on the weather and how many people are around there. There is also the Tough Tusk Tavern. It is on the edge of the Pits in the Creets neighborhood. There is some sanctioned gambling there. They've got cards, dice, other various tavern games. There's the Y Spider, of course, in the North Roads that you've been to before with your friend, the head server there. And then there is also the Four Corners Tavern. That one is more in the Pits side of town, but there is the Four Corners Tavern at all. Like the Tough Tusk Tavern has some fighting, more of a focus on fighting there than on the others. Now, if you did want to go outside of town too, there is also Waste Refuge, but that is a little less, that's a little more for travelers than people in the city.
And the Four Corners Tavern is near. Did you say it's near the Pits?
That one's in the Pits. Yeah, it's not far from the Creets. People in the Creets often walk there, but it is more a place to stop and get drinks after a shift. Working in various stables or animal husbandry of various types.
Yeah, well, I would recommend either the Tough Tusk or the drinking tent. If you're worried about being spied upon, it's very hard to set up any kind of surveillance at the drinking tent because it's not a permanent structure. So.
I will say I'm partial to the drinking tent.
All right, drinking tent it is. And Winnie's going to go ahead and use a spell slot to cast Detect Magic and look to see if they are perhaps being spied upon.
Okay. Kind of like in the area where you're at, basically?
Yeah, it lasts for 10 minutes, so she's just going to have that up for 10 minutes. And she might do it again later. But
Okay, got it. When it goes off, you do notice that here in front of the Aurora Hold, there is some magical enchantments on the Aurora Hold itself. They look mostly enchantment in nature, different protections. Take a little more to find it specifically, but beyond that, you don't see anybody in the range of detect magic that concerns you while you begin this walk down to the Pits. The Creets neighborhood is where you're going for the drinking tent.
As we're walking, I say, if being covert is necessary, I have a way we can communicate without being heard. But Uriah, you probably aren't going to like it.
oh yeah, that's right. The three of us were communicating inside our heads. I've never done that before.
I'm not going to let that man Nope.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
I'm not going to do anything that you don't want me to do. That's fair. I just was putting it out there. I'm sure we'll find another way anyway. It's no problem.
Okay. So the group heads to the drinking tent in the Creets neighborhood, and it's not a terribly long walk, 10 to 15 minutes through the way. As let's change the vibe here a little bit too, if we're going to the drinking tent. As the group walks through, crossing from the North Roads into the Creets is a unique experience. And as you get closer to the edge of the North Roads, the buildings get smaller. They get a little more beat up. They get made out of fabric and canvas tents rather than structures. The structures themselves get more rare. Not gone completely. There are still shacks and places that are built up here in the pits, or excuse me, the creeks. And as you get closer to the drinking tent, you hear before you see the drinking tent with a rowdy, raucous group of mostly goblins here in this area, and you enter into what at this point has about 40 feet by 80 feet, and it's open aired here in the drinking tent, and you can see that the bar has it's a kind of a market stall that looks like a market stall style counter that goes across probably about 25 feet or so, and behind it there are 3 goblins who are furiously running back to different jugs and kegs of ale and different liquors, and you can smell just like the strong smell of alcohol, just like really, really strong, like grain alcohol. There's that stale beer smell on the ground. Even with it just being dirt, you get the sense that there is a mix of aromas here. And you hear shouting of all sorts, just different goblins who are drinking with each other. You see mugs being hit against each other. You see fists being thrown as you walk by. There is a ogre who is lumbering through stew, ale, and walking through the group, and walks over to the 5 of you and kind of gives a curious look. Ale, stew, or meat?
In Goblin, I reply, ale.
Ale. 1 copper.
Winnie also orders an ale in Goblin.
Toss him a silver and just say, keep him coming.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I like hold out the fish and put down a gold piece and say, fish and ale.
Stew for me, please.
You might want to be, Winnie whispers, you might want to be careful about flashing gold here in the creeks.
I want them to cook my fish.
They'll cook it for less than that.
The ogre.
It's just a gold piece.
Yeah, the ogre happily snatches up now the gold and silver that have been tossed down. That's more than enough to get everybody what they've asked. And he takes the fish and opens up kind of like he's got a apron on, like a big, large leather apron that would fit an ogre, pulls it open and drops the fish in there. We'll bring back when cooked. Pulls up. Where's cups? You have cups?
Winnie pulls out her mess kit and her cup.
Perfect. Grabs it, and he's got like this kind of a large barrel on the back. It looks like it's split between the two. Reaches back, hits one lever, ale, passes out the ales, goes to the other side, opens up the little faucet there on it. And you can see steam coming off of this one, hands it to the professor. Stew.
I drink it.
Okay.
How's it taste?
It's okay. It there's different mystery chunks of meats and vegetables of various types of which you have no idea what they are. You do bite down on something that squishes a little bit and kind of explodes in your mouth, and you're not sure what it was.
I've certainly had worse.
Okay. I mean, kind of. We'll be back with fish. Turns around.
You can just gut it and I'll eat it raw.
Okay. Takes the instruction. Now, will you want him to cook the fish for you? Just so I understand what you're wanting the ogre to do.
If cooking the fish is too much trouble, he can just gut it.
Okay. That's what he was going for. Yeah,
go for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it. So he tosses it back, and you see one of the bartenders grabs it and throws it back behind, almost like in Pike's Place Market in Seattle, throws it behind to where there's this area that looks like there's smoke, billows of smoke coming out. Not sure what kind of campfire or oven setup they have, but it is behind the bar and the shelves that hold all the different alcohols and liquor. And move forward a little bit, and more goblins are running into the group, one being pushed into them. But here you are in the drinking tent, able to do whatever you'd like here at this point.
Acacia. So Uri and myself were sort of discussing on our way back from our little scouting adventure, as it were. We think we might need to hide these braces for longer than just the day that we're going. We might need to put them away until we're ready to leave, or until we're the other side of this, because if we take them around them, they might be able to sense that we have it, and we already have enough eyes on us that try not to really draw too many more. I'd like to be able to leave this city eventually, and being stuck inside of a prison behind bars just for showing up at a job, not really my speed.
Well, I don't exactly want to just leave them out in the woods for days. I mean, we've acquired, a scroll for a spell that will be able to keep them from being detected. We just need enough in supplies for Winnie to be able to add it into her spell book. We've got a one-time use of it, but we'd rather use it more often than that. I just don't like the idea of leaving them out somewhere, and I mean, who is going to stay by and watch them? Because whoever stays behind to watch them.
I mean, we have Owl and Little Bit that can stay behind.
But how long would it, by the time that Owl or Little Bit would even be able to get to us to let us know that they've been taken, whoever took them will be long gone.
I mean, maybe, but this is what I wanted to talk to Winnie about. I really, really don't think we should be walking around with those things. Winnie, what do you know about the Umavi?
What does Winnie know about the Umavi? I mean, I think we definitely want to hide them from the Umavi.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check.
Interesting. Nine.
A 9. Not a ton, actually. Winnie does know the basics. I will say that there is some basics. That the Umavi are what the Kreen dynasty considers perfect souls. Souls that have lived many lifetimes, and in those lifetimes have gathered enough knowledge and experience to be considered great leaders, great heroes, shapers of the world. And Empress Leylis Kreen herself is the first Umavi, and considered to be a perfect soul as well. Beyond that, not a ton. Certainly not the name of many. I would say Winnie knows of Sky Sybil Miram, but beyond that, the Bright Queen and the Sky Sybil, Winnie would know that a lot of the dens, not all of the dens, I'd say probably most of them, are led by an Umavi, but not all by any means.
Does she know who leads Den Olios and whether they're an Umavi?
That would be, so Lady Zethris Olios is who leads Den Olios, and she is also the de facto leader of Asarius. Unknown specifically, you don't know specifically if she's an Umavi, but you've never heard that, so you assume not. You've just never heard otherwise.
Yeah, I guess Winnie would assume that all the Umavi live in Roshana. So she probably isn't. Because they all stay next to the Luxtons. And she knows that. Yeah, so I mean, I think in terms of the bracers, I think it's okay while we're just out and about, but we should hide them from the Umavi.
Here's the
bigger
thing. I
magic.
think it's the other way around. So we met some people out when we went to the Cersei Waters, and I think that the people we need to hide the bracers from is Den Oleos and the Aurora Watch, not the Umavi.
But we certainly don't want to let them know we have them, but I don't think they will as long as Acacia doesn't show them. I don't think they're looking for them, and certainly out and about here in the creeks and the pits, we should be okay.
Yeah, but bringing them into the Aurora Hold is not. I mean, you could tell they were there just with a simple spell. They can do the same.
That's true, but they'd have to know that where they came from and what they were, and they don't necessarily know that now.
They just need to know that they're powerful.
Well,
because then they'll know.
Trustworthy, but I don't think they would just walk up and take something of somebody's without justification.
DM,
I think they would take her.
DM question. With Acacia having the ability to use detect magic, would she be aware of whether or not detect magic would give off a power level of sorts, or is it just, hey, this thing is magical? Because realistically, like, Acacia's got a bunch of other little magical doodads. So is there any way to know if detect magic would even give off a power level?
That's a really good question. Yeah, that is a really good question.
Because the reason I'm saying that, also, because I think all three of us can cast detect magic, it's that detect magic, the spell, gives you a school. And if they detect the inability to figure out what this power is, that is suspicious in and of itself.
Yeah, and I would say kind of just following the rules as written on this one. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. So along those lines, it would be a faint aura either way. So it wouldn't necessarily betray the power level of the item.
So equivocally, like my Pearl of Power, the aura from my Pearl of Power would look essentially identical, maybe colored differently.
Correct, yeah, and specifically, and I'd say specifically for detect magic, yes, it's a first level spell, so it's not got a lot of power to it itself as a spell. So I would say that the auras that they give off would be equivalent. Now, that being said, if one of the group was to go up to a magical item to try and see how powerful it was, something like an Arcana check would probably be what I'd call for. So there are, other ways besides just detect magic. But no, it's a great question about detect magic itself. It really would just give a faint aura.
I mean, we can continue doing whatever, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. That's all.
Well, since Acacia's the one wearing them, she would bear the most risk if they were discovered. So, I say it's her decision.
I don't like the idea of just leaving them out somewhere, and realistically, every one of us, I'm sure, has some form of magic on them, and it would take an effort, a conceited effort on their part to try and determine what these things even are. And I think that's less of a risk than just putting them up in a tree and trusting that, and this isn't a slight against Little Bit or Owl, but the time that it would take for one of them to get to us to let us know that the bracers were gone, they'd be halfway to they'd be halfway to the Dwendalian Empire by the time we were able to catch up with them.
Okay, but hear me out. Instead of
I
on a
mean-
tree, what if it was in a river protected by a shark?
I'm just gonna say whatever you want to do, Keisha. I'll go with it. I just think this is a huge mistake. Huge.
I just don't trust them being out of my sight right now. I can defend them better here than out in the woods where we hope that a shark will keep an eye on them. I think there's enough of us here to keep enough of a watchful eye, and I don't plan on going and flaunting these things around. I mean, we've already been back to the Aurora Hold twice since we got our hands on these things, and nothing's come of it.
And they've questioned us.
Risk.
And he knows we're hiding something. He absolutely knows we're hiding something.
I think he might suspect, but there's a difference between suspecting and knowing.
And there's also a difference between the kind of magic that we can do and the magic that somebody like the Umavi or even one of these people can do. I don't know. And I just get up the table and kind of walk towards the bar.
Ultimately, Acacia, I do think it is your decision what risks you're willing to take. But just remember that some of those risks might affect others too. But I'm here with you.
I think we have time to make a decision one way or the other. And we'll play it by ear.
But yeah, as you get up to the bar, the ogre sees you and is back refilling one of the ale portion of his kind of large barrel backpack. Pouring it over, sees you, looks over the wall with the shelves, puts the jug down, walks back, comes over with a large stick, holding it kind of like, a marshmallow stick over a fire. And that's the size it would be kind of in the ogre's hands, even though it's this large fish, but hands it over to you. There's fish.
Thanks.
Okay, it's big enough for you. You have to use both hands to hold it, but you have a very nicely cooked. It actually smells very good, like, cooked over the open fire. Looks like
Hell yeah.
Yeah, very appetizing meal despite being surrounded by goblins. And as you're up there by the bar, you feel your hip get pushed back, and you hear one goblin yelling at another, "I'll fucking kill you!" And start punching the other one. And you see a drink fly out of their hand and spill onto the ground. And
I'll just kind of eat my fish at the bar and watch the goblins beat the shit out of each other.
Okay, got it. Any other conversations anybody wanted to have in the drinking tent while you're here, or is everybody wanting to figure out where to stay for the evening?
Probably figuring out where we're staying here pretty soon. Probably the 4th or 5th ale by the time it comes that way. Juwan's head's down, and he's sort of like interrupting his naps. Sort of like short cat naps to down the next drink and then lay his head back down. So it's just sort of a matter of time when everybody's like, all right, dude, let's go.
Okay, got it. Okay. So you all have some drinks. Urya watches the goblins fighting on the bar. The professor kind of wondering about the newfound ability used today. Winnie thinking about family and some of the issues going on in the pits and the Creets neighborhoods. And you all decide to finish up. Where would you like to go after the drinking tent?
I don't know about
Juwan-
you guys, but I'm ready to turn in.
Juwan probably starts to head towards the inn that we've been staying at previously.
Okay.
unless anyone's like tries to stop him or something, he's gonna go back there.
The wise spider.
Yes.
Well, you don't want to go to our new houses?
Oh, yeah. I guess I forgot about those. I guess I'll save the coin, and sort of turns around and sort of walks with the rest of the group back
Yeah,
towards
let's go check them out. Let's go jump on all the beds.
Okay.
I make my way kind of like towards the outskirts of the creeks.
Okay. Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just a spot to lay your head down?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much just like a place to go to sleep.
So, like, just kind of out and about anywhere, which is sometimes a thing in the Cretes, or like a tavern proper, or a place with rooms.
No. Like a flat piece of ground.
Yeah.
Maybe a patch of grass.
Sure.
Hopefully a patch of grass.
I was gonna say a little maybe hard to find.
I can make a patch of grass, technically.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So you find a nice flat patch and create some grass, and do a little circle around it and rest for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the group also, we got Winnie and Jawan heading to the new residence. What about Professor Mayfield? And
I will be joining Winnie and Juwan.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. We can put our heads together and design the necklace for was it your granddaughter that gave it to you?
Yes, she said it would keep me safe. And that,
Well, how will she feel about getting it back?
When I returned.
Oh, but when you return, you're going to give it to her with the fancy stuff.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll put our heads together and come up with something that she'll like.
You said you could make it have a smell? Did you say that, or did I imagine that?
I think I can make it have a smell. I can make it light up. I can make it talk with a little message. I can make it smell a sound, or it can have text. Writing. Is she learning to read?
Her favorite flowers are lilacs a flower? Derek doesn't know this. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, they are, right? Yes, her favorite flowers are lilacs. Can you make it smell like lilacs?
I can.
Would you? I would so greatly appreciate it. I take out the necklace, the bracelet, and I hold it out.
Sure. I will take out my little tinkering tools. And I assume we've gotten back to the little house. Take out my little tinkering tools and work on it for a little bit and make it smell like lilacs.
Was Acacia also going back to the residence for the night?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So the four of you, before we get to that little tinkering moment, the four of you follow the directions to this set of residents that Denolios has offered to all of you, and you're able to follow them easy enough, and you find that a bit past the North Roads there is an area that looks like it has more functional housing here, and follow two lefts here, a right here, and you walk into there is a little bit of an iron fence around the entirety of the property, and it looks like probably about a half an acre or so total. There is a little bit of kind of open space as well. It looks like there's some training dummies in the back, a couple of archery targets as well. But what you see is here in this area 8 small stone buildings, and each of them are not really huge or anything, probably about 40 by 30 feet, more cabin-like than anything, but they are made out of stone, and they're
God, it's a mansion.
Yeah, right. And they're kind of set out in a semicircular pattern, a half circle around this central area of this property, and each of you are able to claim one as your own if you would like. Winnie and Professor Mayfield spend the time to work on the bracelet and put a simple enchantment on it for Professor Mayfield's grandchild. But you are here now at the residence of Denolios. There are 4 of you, so you would only take up half of these currently. But you are here to rest if you would like, and bed down for the evening.
Before Acacia goes to sleep, she's going to cast Detect Magic to make sure that she's not being watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And Winnie does the same thing.
Okay. And that's 10 minutes, right?
Yes, for the next 10 minutes.
So, both of you do see in their own intervals about for Acacia it's about 5 minutes through. For Winnie, it's right when the spell starts, but for about 30 seconds, a small, faint aura of divination appears in this room and stays, and then disappears. And each of you see it for about 30 seconds.
So if she still has her psychic link with Professor and Acacia,
It was 6 hours, so I'd say so.
she's
Yeah.
gonna say, Burya was right. We're being observed, probably intermittently. So mind your P's and Q's here.
Well, it's really a waste of resources. I didn't think I was that interesting.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to turn down such a luxurious setup, but I think we shouldn't speak verbally of anything that we wouldn't want to reach. It's probably Denolios. Probably reach Denolios' ears, but anyone else's ears. And then Winnie just starts jumping on the bed.
I love it.
So
It creaks a little, but it holds up. It's good. It's well made.
Juwan makes it up to the room. First thing he checks and looks around for windows.
Yeah, there is a window. So they're very, very simple. There's a door at the front in the center of that front wall. And then on the back wall directly across from the door, there is a window there. It does look openable as well, with some shutters that can be closed on the outside if you would like.
So he takes one of his short swords and tries to sort of jam it in the base of the window to potentially keep it from being opened. Maybe like jabs it at an angle or something so that the hilt butts up to the top edge of the window where it lifts.
Sure.
And then goes to the door after he closes the door, and he ties a bit of his rope to an arrow and lets it loose into the ceiling just above the door.
Okay.
Takes the remaining length of rope and starts to sort of wrap it around the door handle and then tie it off to itself and cut the excess off probably about halfway. So he'll have like 2 strands of 25 feet. But just as means of like trying to block any of the entrance exits of the space, and gets settled in and rubs his muddy feet into the bed and gets things situated and tries to relax as best as his paranoid ass can this evening.
And you're able to do all of the things you described. There's a large wooden frame on the door. Even though the building's stone, there's a large wooden frame on the door, and you're able to pull the back. The arrow hits, and you're able to use that as an anchor to wrap around the door. And feels as secure as you can get it. But yeah, given that you're here in the city in the small, confined space, it's still a little unnerving.
Professor is going to find wherever Winnie is. If she's like in one of those buildings, he'll just knock gently on the door.
Mm-hmm. You hear as Winnie's bouncing on the bed.
Who is it?
You hear inside of your head, hello, can we talk for a sec?
Well, she switches to psychic. Sure. Oh, and then she says, "Remember, someone may be listening." So then she says, "Oh, come in," or no, she'll yell,
No.
"Who is it again?" And
Oh, it's just me. Hello.
"Oh, come in," and she says in her mind, "Remember, they might be listening."
Yeah. So I come in, and I say, Winnie, sometimes I find with my students that they're very brilliant, but also sometimes very insecure. Do you ever feel like you're not good enough?
Oh, how did you know?
It's actually very common. A lot of very, very bright people, and uh, well, I don't feel like getting into why, but it happens. And so what I tell my students is to think of maybe 2 to 4 positive things about yourself. It can be traits you have or things you've done that you really, really like. And whenever you're feeling doubtful, I just want you to recall them and reinforce them. As a way of, positive thinking will only take you so far, but it's important to have confidence in yourself. And look, I'm a very good judge of character. I have +3 insight. That's basically infinity. So when you think
That
about
is
it, I'm
a
always
lot.
right about people. No one will ever successfully lie to me. Definitely won't happen. And I just have a feeling you're going to do some great things someday. I can tell. I have experience. So just you don't have to tell me. They're not for me. They're for you. But just take a few positive things about yourself and just remember them when things get rough. And I hope it helps you in some way.
Thank you very much. I will do that. And Winnie thinks to herself, "Wait, I'm +3 in wisdom."
You rolled good stats. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to just do some reading now. But I'll be outside if you want to talk more. Always available.
Okay.
And then I walk away and I take out a book on boring nerd stuff.
Okay, got it. All right. Anything else anybody wanted to do for the evening? If not, then everybody can mark a long rest, and we can move to the next day. Before we do, though, however, Winnie, even after the conversations and jumping on the bed, you've got a little bit of energy, and so you spend a little bit of time just, counting sheep while you're trying to fall asleep. But eventually sleep finds you. And as it does, you feel restful for most of the night. But before waking, you find yourself in a dream. You're not sure about the nature of the dream, but you look around and you see yourself in a large, regal, ornate chamber, hundreds of feet long, about 50 feet wide, with large pillars that look like marble, gleaming marble coming down. You stand in this room that is lined with braziers that are putting off a light that is flickering off the walls, but you're alone in this room, in this chamber. You do feel that you have control over yourself and your functions, though.
Are there any windows in the room?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
What?
Not that you can tell. Your gaze is attracted down this chamber. It continues on, and you don't see an end to it now that you're looking. It almost looks like a long, a never-ending hallway.
Are there any mirrors in the room?
Not that you can tell.
I look at my hands.
You're wearing purple robes, a very nice silk, ornate with gold trim designed on the edges of it. And you see gray hands.
Gray hands.
Gray hands as you look at them.
Do they have fur and claws?
Not that you can see.
Regular fingernails?
Yeah.
I lift up my robe. What do my legs look like?
Gray also. The shoes you're wearing are simple, yet ornate in their own way also. You can tell that there's thought put into it. They match well. They seem to all be part of the same outfit.
And are my legs are gray?
Yeah, legs are gray.
No fur.
No fur. You hear down the long, never-ending chamber that you're in here a low, deep, and loud growl. More than just an animal growl, though. This feels primal. As if a large stone, 100 tons heavy, is being dragged across the bottom of another rocky chamber. You feel heat coming from down the chamber.
I guess I'll try to creep along and fly.
You move further, and now you feel compelled to follow. You're not sure why. But whatever you're looking for is down this chamber, down this hallway. There's something there that you're looking for. You hear the growl again.
Do I know what I'm looking for?
You try and think. It's right on the tip of your tongue. You know it. You know the word. You know what it is. Almost as if a memory you're trying to remember walking into a room. Why was I in here?
I hate when that happens. I keep going. I keep going down the hall.
As you do, it gets hotter and hotter. The air gets thick with heat. You start to sweat. You feel fatigued. I feel the urge to walk ever more.
Am I hearing anything else?
This time, as the heat becomes almost unbearable, you hear another third low growl. But at the end of this one, it opens up into a loud roar. Ooh. And as you do, you see at the end of where this hallway is a little pinprick of light. And you feel the heat grow more intense. And you look at the back of your hands now, they're blistering. The heat gets more intense. The little pinprick of light looks larger, now basketball-sized in your view, but you can hear what sounds like the rushing of water at this distance moving quickly. And at this rate, it's growing more and more and more. You look down, your hands now blistered and bleeding. Feel the heat as the skin begins to slough off.
I'm going to turn around and run the other way.
And you start to try and run with all the energy that you have, and you look beyond as a wall of fire moves past you. You feel searing heat envelop all of your body, and you wake up. Drenched in sweat.
I rummage in my pack. And I take out a silver bowl and I fill it with water. And I wash my face. And then I wash my hands and my feet. And then I wash my face. And then I wash my hands and my feet. And I do that 3 more times. And then I dump the water out and clean the bowl and put it away.
Sleep finds you again. Calm this time. With that, everyone can mark a long rest. We can move into the next day here in Asarius.
The professor is up very early because he's old, and old people.
Okay, got it. Udia, you're the first, or rather, you're the first to talk about here at least. You are in a nice patch of grass,
Mm-hmm.
and calm dreams find you. But before you can naturally wake up, you hear, before anything else, as you feel something moving across your shoulder.
Can I open one eye and look at what it is?
You open one eye and you see a small red-skinned creature. In this view, you're able to tell it's a kobold sniffing at you. They have very simple clothing on. Seems like they have a belt of some sort. What looks to be maybe a wooden sword. You're not sure exactly what it is, if it's meant to be a club or some kind of practicing item.
Do they look like a child or like an adult?
I would say roll an insight check here. Not a high DC.
Okay. 15.
15. A little bit in between. Not very young, but not yet grown either. Just kind of sniffing at you.
I open both my eyes and turn around and go, hi.
Turns around and runs off.
As I wake up in my 2x2 feet of grass, can I ritual cast augury?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'll set up my ring of salt, my little my mirror, the glass of water, the tea set, and just kind of sit there.
And you see the steam rising off of the poured tea for the ritual, and you go through your methods for casting the spell, and send out the bones for your divination spell. And you feel... I guess I should ask, what is the specific course of action that you're wanting to take? Because it is within the next 30 minutes.
I want to... my plan in my head is to head to the Aurora Hold, where I know that the rest of the party is staying.
Okay.
Engaging in whatever activity they got from whatever his name is that I still refuse to remember.
Verlis,
yes. So doing that this morning.
Okay, so you're wanting to know about the quest that Verlis offered, or just going to meet with your group?
I'm going to meet with my group, and then my dog has decided that the Chewy box is very interesting right now. Meet with my group, and then kind of as a group head out to do whatever task we need to.
Okay. Yeah. You cast your augury spell, and you feel almost a tug. It's this odd... What it reminds you of is the ocean. This tidal feel of laying in the shore, going back and forth on the waves, coming in and out. You feel a connection to the Moonweaver. And you get a strong sense of weal from this augury. That good results are coming today. That there's positivity ahead.
I'll kind of put everything away, grab my cup of tea, and just drink it as I make my way up to and very pointedly, she took off her shoes so she could sleep, and she very quickly forgot that shoes were a thing. Proceeded to head back to town without shoes on.
It feels natural here, walking through the mud of the creeks, and you make your way back up to the North Roads area in the direction you know the group is. And what is everybody else doing here as you wake up? Anything in particular, or just getting ready to go about the day?
Professor Mayfield is just putting on a bow tie right now.
Okay.
In front of a mirror.
Okay. What color bow tie?
That is a great question. I don't know fashion things. Someone help me here. What color bow tie should the professor wear? Any suggestions? Otherwise, I'll just go with
purple. Purple would match being in the dynasty here.
Then I'll go with purple.
Okay.
Like a deep purple.
Okay. Got it. Able to get it nice and looking good.
And instead of like a vest with the elbow patches, which is very professory, this time it's like a vest with suspenders.
Okay. Got it. Okay. If nobody else has anything specific they're doing, then I'll say that Uria is able to make her way over to where at least where the group would be, as everybody's getting ready and going about their mornings. You kind of all get up, and as you step outside, see Udia close, maybe a couple 100 feet away, and all gather up for the morning outside of this property that has been given to you in the North Roads, or above the North Roads, rather, from Denolios. What would you like to do from here?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Or maybe it's not a good morning. I don't know. I'm not the boss of you. That's fine.
I mean, it is a morning. I don't know if we've established if it's good yet, but it is morning. So, what is on the agenda today, folks? Got some crocodiles. Got some break-ins. Got that kidnapped moorbounder.
Winnie, what did you say? Which task did you want to tackle first?
Well, I think we should. I think we're on animal control duty now. So I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe we should try to find Daisy first, because I know that the other moorbounders will be heartbroken if she doesn't come back.
Well, I'm comfortable following your lead, so that's my ticket.
Well, and we might need to track her. So I guess is there any information from Christopher's notes?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was Daisy was taken from Zorth as Zorth's pits. He is in the pits in the pits neighborhood. That's where he has this kind of stable area with the breeding pits underground. But what the note says is that there was a bit of web found in the stables where Daisy was taken. Zorth suspects it might be insect in nature.
Oh no. Maybe the children of Malice have her.
We could also ask the other moorbounders.
Yeah, I guess let's go. I guess maybe it would make sense to go visit Zorth and start there. See if we can find a trail.
All right.
Sure.
That would probably be our best bet, especially if we think she's been taken. She didn't just wander off.
Yeah.
I wonder if this Zorth guy's got, like, enemies or something. Maybe he swindled somebody.
Well, we'll find out. somebody that does web. It couldn't be a magic web because they don't last. So somebody that, well, the children of Malish worship the Spider Queen. Maybe it's all related, but let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there anything anybody wants to do before that, or are we heading to Zorth Spitz here? Okay. So, as the group wipes the sleep out of their eyes, gathers together for the morning, heads off to the familiar, strong smell of the Pits neighborhood, where there is noises of all varieties, smells of all varieties, and animals of all varieties. And with that, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll get into that section. So we are at 4:54 here on the West Coast. So we'll call it, let's see, 5:09 or 8:09 Eastern, if that's where you're at. But we'll take a quick break and come back and visit Zorth. See you in a bit. Awesome. Okay, do we have everyone back?
Hello.
Hello.
Present.
I'm here.
You stole my line, Alex.
I think we got everybody all right. Okay. So the party takes a little bit of time traveling through the pits and gets to Winnie is able to lead you to where Zorth's pits are. And from the outside, you can see it's got some ramshackle fences. It looks like pieces of wood that have been hobbled together and pieced together to make what is a pretty big fence, probably 10 feet high or so around most of it. With a wooden sign that has, in a somewhat simple way carved into it, Zorth's Pits, and you're able to walk through the door there that is by the sign, and the door it's not into a building or anything. It's not so much a door as an archway, but you walk through and can see off on one side a few more bounders that are jumping around and being fed by a couple of goblins over in that area. You look to one side and you see what look to be above ground pools of some sort with, you see a little bit of chitinous shell coming out of the water. Looks like splashed with orange. You see that there are little buildings that have they lack doors, but they look like they go down into the ground underneath. But you see closest to where you guys are when you walk in, that stringing up and or putting up a harness and some of the equipment is an older goblin, and he has bald on the top. It has some kind of like frizzy, kind of puffed out white hair along the back that goes down, and long sideburns, long pointed ears. No arms there. Where the arms are, it looks like the arms have been lost, and the feet have simple wrappings on them. He wears a red brownish vest. It looks nice, if not dirty. Kind of a little bit of a gut for a goblin. Wearing simple pants. And oddly enough, as he turns around to look at all of you, you see a monocle in his eye as well. And as he sees the four of you, oh, perfect, thank you for letting me know. As he sees the four of you walk in, turns around. Oh, are you here to do business?
As we were approaching, I'll start ritually casting Speak with Animals.
Okay, totally.
Eventually, baby. I mean, it definitely looks like you've got a pretty cool place around here. We're actually here to inquire about your missing moorbounder, Daisy.
Daisy, yes! Oh, yes! Oh, you're Winnie! Yes, you're the group! Yes! Oh, thank goodness you're here! Oh, let's go to this. Oh, I'll show you where I see. Are you here to save her?
That would be the eventual goal, I would hope. But honestly, the more information that you could give us, and the sooner we could try to find her, especially if you think someone took her.
Of course, anything you need. Oh, I can show you where she's taken. This is my best stable. Here, I've got it over here. What do you need to know? He's got like an urgent look on his face that looks like genuinely like worried about this moorbounder. Well, anything you need.
Juwan just sort of holds his finger up and starts to sort of scan the ground, looking for footprints, disturbances, like even getting so close as to like smell the ground as he moves along.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll a survival check for up here.
And I'll head to kind of like the either this pen or the next pen, wherever there's more bounders still there, and I'll kind of go up to them and try to talk to them.
Okay. As you start walking that way, you better be nice to my moorbounders.
Of course.
This is 16.
16. Okay. So as he leads you all as a group over towards Daisy's stable, as Udia breaks off to go talk to some moorbounders on her own. Joanna, you get down close to the ground in the stable area, and he opens it up. Yeah, this is where she usually stays. This is all the best of everything I've got here. And you see, it's got a trough, and there's a nice, looks like a hand-stitched bed. I mean, it's large. Moorbounders are large. Moorbounders, at their back are close to as tall as Winnie, so these are large creatures, but it is a large, stitched-together bed. It looks like a little bit nicer than all of the other ones. And with a 16, Jawan, what you see is some very odd footprints. They are circular in nature with two little prongs coming off of them is what it looks like. For you, especially given your background, that you recognize that these are certainly some kind of giant spider track.
Ooh. Sort of look around. Speaking of spiders, are there any spiders or any insects that sort of appear to have potentially that this is their home as well? Potentially they share a dwelling with this Daisy?
And you're asking Zorth that?
No,
okay.
Juan is looking himself. He's
there
sort
are
of in investigation mode. He's like,
okay,
I just need to be at the place.
for sure. Yeah. I would say roll a perception check for me to take a look around.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go with you. 17.
17. You do see those buildings that look like they went down into the ground. You suspect maybe those would be suitable for insects. One of the animals that the group had seen walking through the pits the first day was under the ground. There were some large, giant centipede-like creatures and large fire beetles as well. So you think that underground, maybe those there may be some insects, but given the size of the track that you see and the size of those doors, which seem to be pretty standard size, maybe a little bigger, it would be weird for it to be anything here.
No, I guess I may have misspoke. I'm looking for something small, like an actual spider or something like that may share the space.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, I see.
Or something that
I
would
misunderstood.
potentially
Totally.
live there.
Gotcha. With that perception check, I'd say, sure, yeah, you're able to find easy enough to go to one of the corners of the stable where a couple pieces of wood are together and find a spider, a regular sized spider web with a small spider.
Okay. Probably sort of approach that area by the spider and use my primal awareness to be able to speak with the spider.
Okay.
And just sort of look up at him, and everybody hears it like he's speaking to the spider as he normally would. And he just sort of looks up at it and goes, "Oi, you see any critters that look like you, except more big fuckers?"
You hear just very simple response back. The best word, it's kind of odd. The word that you get from it is king spider.
They spiders have any other people with them? People that I don't know, might not be spiders?
Not that I saw.
Well, I guess that raises some suspicions. And Daisy, your roommate, as it were, did they leave with this king spider?
Yes.
Well, shit.
And as this conversation is happening, Zorth leans over to Professor Mayfield, Winnie, and Acacia. Is he talking to that spider?
Seems like it.
And is she talking to the Mallbounders?
Apparently.
And with that, Udia, you walk up to the other Moorbounders in their pen, and you get a sense of almost nervousness and anxiety, even just coming off of these animals. They're just tense as you approach, and you are able to walk up. What are you doing? Their pen is pretty large, but you're able to walk around and get, maybe about 30 or 40 feet away from one of them. But you kind of have to get in and enter in to get real close, unless you want to try and get them over to the pen area.
I'll just kind of like stand like on the outside of the pen area, and I'll pull out one of the pieces of sashimi that I have in my bag that we're gonna pretend like it's still fresh from last night, and I'll kind of like hold it out and say, "It's like, I'm here to find your friend."
And you were casting Speak with Animals, right? Ritually,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. Yeah. Go ahead and roll an animal handling check with advantage for me on this one.
Yeah. That is 22.
22. As it smells and hears you say that, it almost seems to ease a little bit of that tension, and walks over, sniffing over by the fence. It says to you, Daisy sad, Daisy gone.
What's your name?
Just kind of really what you get back is almost a question. Don't know. I don't know my name.
Oh, getting a little upset. All right. Well, what happened to Daisy? Did you see what happened to her?
Kind of looks around. Daisy taken. Large spider. Sharp web. And it lifts up its paw, and you see that on its paw it has some cuts.
Oh.
Swiped web. Hurt paw.
Was the spider alone?
Yes.
Okay.
Big enough to not need others.
Okay. Was Daisy alive when she was taken?
There's a bit of sadness, but yes.
Good.
Couldn't move.
Okay. Did the spider try to take anyone else?
No. Went straight for Daisy. Covered in web. Bit. Daisy could not move, and then spider took.
Okay. We'll find your friend.
Thank you. Miss Daisy.
I'm sorry. And then I'll kind of just like throw the piece of fish.
And just downs it quickly.
Yeah. And then I'll kind of like head back to the group and wait for Jawan to finish his conversation with the spider.
Okay.
So that's when I told them you have to build your webs a little bit tighter up in the corner, or else you might get squished. So if you could just take and move it up about 3 meters, you would be just perfect.
Much appreciated. Do you have some of that food for me there? And you get the sense it's asking about your swarm.
I'm not really sure if these are quite edible, honestly. I guess, any takers? It sort of like looks like along his shoulders. And those of you who can see from behind that might have seen the swarm like bouncing or anything or sitting on top of the fur sees everything just sort of like shimmy and bury itself deep into the fur. I really don't have anything for you. Here's what I can do. And he reaches up and Druid crafts a pollinating flower, probably some sort of like shady pollinating flower, just to try and attract some sort of insects or something.
Yeah.
This might help a little long term. You know what they say, give a spider a bug, he'll eat for a day. Give him a flower, he'll eat forever.
Much appreciated.
I'm supposed to be doing something. And he sort of like turns around and notices everybody. Goes, enjoy your dinner or whenever things come around.
Did it say anything interesting?
A spider took her.
Yeah, a pretty big one from what he's describing.
Well, it would have to be big. Molebounders are huge already.
Yeah.
Well, the spider wrapped her in web, bit her, and took her away.
I see just a worried, sad look on his face when he hears that. Well, what's the word? Are you going to go after her?
We could definitely try. Joanne sort of looks to the rest of the group and in a little bit more of like a hushed tone. Weren't y'all saying something about some other group that was doing some shady things? You might think a bunch of stuff tied together.
You mean, sorry, Dan, what were they called? The
Children of Malice.
The Children of Malice. Yes. What about them?
Are they spider people?
Well, they're drow, right? They worship Lolith, which is the spider betrayer god. And they probably have like cool spider themed powers from her, maybe, but I don't know that they are actually part spider.
Would I know whether or not some of them can be spider people?
I would say you could roll a history check.
Okay. All right. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Especially, being from a continent where it's a little bit more common, some of the drow in Taldore are some of the more archetypical drow, ones that live, in the Underdark with large cities. You've heard of Driders, male drow who are looked down upon by Lolth, who are warped and changed into a half spider, half drow monstrosity who retains some of its, faculties and intelligence, but is meant to be a creature for defending and attacking. In terms of size, they themselves, it would be odd for a Drider to be big enough to carry off this Moorbounder. It would have been the largest Drider ever heard of by a magnitude of a couple times. But they do exist.
I'll turn to Joanne and say, the Moorbounder said the spider was alone.
Yeah, that's sort of what I got from the spider as well. I was checking to see. I didn't think a a spider would take it away, so I thought there might have been people with it, but I don't know. It just said it was by itself too, so... God, the size of that thing must be huge.
It must also be incredibly intelligent, because they said that the spider went straight for Daisy.
So, it either had a job or knew what it was doing for its own agenda, I guess. Do spiders have agendas?
Was there anything special about Daisy that would have made her more of a target?
She was the biggest and strongest of my mole-bounders. She's the oldest. I've had her along for a long time. I didn't want to get rid of her. Besides that, she's the sweetest girl, of course, but I don't know anything besides that.
Can I get an insight check on this shifty motherfucker?
Yeah, go ahead, roll it in.
15.
15? Seems to be on the up and up. It doesn't seem to be, deceiving at all or hiding anything. You see genuine sadness on his face, and seems to be telling the truth when he says those things.
All right. I'm mostly looking to see if maybe he's hiding a fact about Daisy that we don't know about.
I see. No, nothing specifically.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like he's holding back. That seems to be the only things that he can think of that make her different. He especially believed that she was the sweetest girl.
Oh.
Is Juwan able to sort of find these tracks again and sort of follow them, or see if there's like an actual trail of them to follow?
Sure. Go ahead and roll another survival check. You can kind of exit the property and go out to where they seem to go, in the direction of, and go from there.
Survival. Let's go with the wood die.
Nice.
Okay, 15. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Very nice. So once you get out past this fence, and it looks like the outer edges here actually have some vermalock wood on them, which a little bit stronger, a little bit better milled, not just as much scrap on this side. And what you can see is that it goes out here. This is closer to the edge of Asarius. This is getting close to the wall around town, and is meant to be close enough to the outside of town where people who are traveling through can easily stop in, pick up some beasts and head out and do what they need to. So it is closer to the edge of town here, but you are able to locate the tracks. They go quite deep in this muddy area, and they head out towards the outer edge of the fence or the wall of Asarius itself, and you're able to see, at least from a distance, where the direction that it's going towards.
Well, I've got a trail if we want to follow it.
Please, I'm begging you! It's not for free. Obviously, you've got two mole-bounder cubs. So I'd be willing to trade for Daisy.
Yes. Do you name your cubs?
No, I don't. Not most of them, at least. I name Daisy because I've had her forever, but most of them I don't name. They're going to be bought by others. So, let them name them. Let them get attached to them.
All right.
I still treat them well. I still feed them. I still give them a warm place to sleep. But no, I don't want to get attached.
They all look very well taken care of, so...
Thank you. We do our best around here to put forward a good product, to take care of these creatures.
Well, I suppose we should make hay while the sun is shining.
I think, Juwan, if you've picked up the tracks, it might be best for you to lead us in the direction that they're going.
He's probably standing about 150 yards away from y'all, where he's sort of like made sure that he had a trail and then kind of yelled back, and he's sort of like standing and just sort of like stares in y'all's direction for a moment and then looks back down the path, then back towards y'all, then back towards the path.
I think it's best that we follow Juwan. It looks like he has a trail.
Yeah, I can't hear him in my mind, but I think he wants us to follow him.
All right.
As before you leave, Zorth says, "If you find any giant spider eggs, they're quite valuable in town. We've got a few of the beast dealers who raise them. So, I don't want them, but just to let you know."
Oh, thanks for the tip.
Whenever Acacia gets close enough or actually catches up with Juwan, I am going to cast Enhance Ability on him with Owl's Wisdom, so he gets advantage on wisdom checks for the next hour.
Okay.
I'm also going to initiate telepathic communication with Joan and Winnie.
Okay.
As we're heading out, when he mentions the thing about the spiders, the other beast dealers, can I just, like, as a throwaway question, be like, do they normally have webs that cut?
Not that I've heard of. It's have regular webs.
All right, just something I heard about.
Well, stay safe. Please don't die. Please bring back Daisy.
Don't worry, we'll do our best. I remember visiting Daisy when I was young.
Thank you, Winnie. She'll be happy to see your friendly face. Okay. So the group heads out in the direction of Jawan's tracking. You do have to kind of move towards a gate and then come back around to where you saw the tracks on the outer edge of the wall, but easy enough to do. Again, though, getting outside of the city into the Jorhashian waste outside of the walls, it already feels a bit more desolate. Not seeing the hustle and bustle of the city behind those walls, at least from this perspective. When you get farther out, you might be able to see depending on the view. But you see where the tracks lead and follow them for a few hundred feet, and it looks like they head off to an area that has a little bit more rocky crags. You see some different geological features, really just big rocks sticking out of the ground here, sharp pointed edges in most case. But off in the distance there, the far distance, I would say, at this point, because it's pretty flat, you can see about a mile and a half away seems to be what looks maybe as a watchtower of some sort. No lights or anything, but you can see it off in the distance. Go ahead and do a third and final for this leg of tracking out of the city.
Alrighty. With advantage. I like it. Go with the two brass ones. Okay. Another 15 for 20.
Another 20. Okay. And you see these tracks and you follow them for half a mile now, a couple miles outside of the city. And as you get closer to this watchtower, the tracks seem to follow or head in that direction. And as you get closer, you see some of the rocks surrounding this tower half a mile away. Go ahead and roll a perception check at this point.
Not as
That'll
great, but
still
still.
be with advantage because it's wisdom.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is.
true story. Okay, let's see if we can do better than a 12 on the die. Okay, 17 on the die. That'll make it 24.
24, really good. You're able to see now at this distance, kind of block the sun out of your eyes. And you can see that it does appear to be some kind of maybe watchtower. There's certainly nobody there. It's flat topped with a circular stone staircase that is around the edge of it. Not sure what this would have been for in the past. But with that perception check, you can tell it's covered in web. Large web. And it seems that this may be the spot that you're looking for.
Well, I think we might have found the place. As we sort of approach, are there any signs of life or like any sort of sound or smell, something that might trigger Joanne to the presence of people or spiders or
What I'd ask before I answer that question is how close as a group is everyone getting? Because I would say at this point where you
I'm
saw that
following
about half a mile.
So
Right.
however close he gets.
Yeah, I'm hovering with, like, staying close to Juan as well.
honestly, he's gonna keep moving in slowly and just kind of trying to take in the surrounding area as he moves, and unless something sort of alerts him, he'll probably continue to press forward.
I don't know if you need to hear this explicitly, but I am trying to be very quiet and stealthy right now.
Got it.
I'll probably take like support position with Jawan, kind of like how hunting from before.
Okay.
Winnie's hanging back a bit.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Why don't we roll a group stealth check and see how that goes?
Let's see how that goes. Okay.
11.
Okay.
This is horseshit.
24.
8.
And then what was it for the professor?
18.
18. Okay.
I'm really mad. Someone rolled higher than I did.
Okay.
My dice are rolling hot right now.
Okay.
Katie's seen them. She knows what sets I'm rolling. They have killed many a party.
High enough between the whole group that it seems.
Yeah, Winnie got a 9.
Oh, Winnie got a 9. Okay.
Sorry.
So Joanne and the professor in particular are definitely able to move through this area, keeping a close eye to the ground, not to step on any loose rocks that might move, any dried brush or vegetation that could give away the location where you all are at. Udia, Acacia, and Winnie, however, are a little less able to move quietly through this area, and every now and then the professor and Jawan will look back, hearing a rock get kicked across the ground or a branch off of a dried bush break.
Oops, sorry.
But with that, I'll say you get out to about a distance of 200 feet or so, and I'll say, Jawan, with you leading the charge here, go ahead and roll another perception check to see if you pick up the presence of anyone else or anything that might
Alrighty.
send off some feelers.
Okay. 21.
21, still very good. You don't hear any footfalls. You don't You don't pick up any noise or anything moving around too much. In fact, what you notice is it's oddly quiet. And with the 21, you see now that you're closer to this watchtower area that there is a large kind of pointed rock off maybe 40 feet away from this watchtower. But what you can see now at the angle you're at, the different angle from this watchtower, you can see that behind it there is a large skeleton, bigger than large. There is a probably 30 to 40 foot long crocodile skeleton here sitting behind this watchtower. And you look and you see at the bottom of the stairs, there does seem to be a large mass of something wrapped in spider's web. With that perception check, you see two long curved tusks poking out of it.
So, when you mention how deathly quiet it is, would it give Juan the impression that we're not the only ones trying to be quiet around here?
Yes, at the very least. If not that, that things don't want to be around here, so there's no noise to be made. That the things in this area know to stay away.
Juan's gonna side more on the paranoid end. And sort of look back to the rest of the group that's sort of behind him, and it's too quiet around here. But it looks like that might be Daisy up there wrapped up.
What if we use me as bait? You could stay back here and I'll try to get closer.
I mean,
Are you thinking of trying to draw it out?
Draw it out, try to see if there's anything here. I also would like to know if she's still alive.
I would prefer to stay close to you. If you're gonna move forward, I've got a bow, but I'd much rather use my swords and be close. If nothing else, these little legs don't get far very quick.
Sure. Well, we can have the rest of you kind of hide, and Joanna and I will get closer, see if there's anything here, and see if Daisy is okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. How close does everyone want to be? Just so I get an idea of how everybody's arranged here. And where
I am exactly 60 feet away from whatever's about to happen.
Okay, got it.
Juwan's probably gonna stay within 20 feet of Uria, but sort of hanging back a little bit, low, slow.
Okay. All right. And what about Acacia and Winnie?
Acacia's no more than 15 feet behind Juwan.
Okay.
Winnie's gonna stay. I'm gonna say she's gonna put 30 feet between herself and the front party members.
Okay. So that puts you right in front of Acacia and about 25 feet in front of Professor Mayfield.
And then if Acacia and Joanna are going to be that close to me, I'll definitely try not to be subtle about getting close to, try to get as much attention on me.
Sure.
Yeah. Now Winnie's gonna move back to be a little in front of Professor Mayfield and behind the others.
Okay. You walk up closer, yeah, and you see 50 feet away the bundle that looks like it's Daisy. You don't see anything currently. What are you like? Banging on the shield, making a lot of noise, or just being loud as you walk through? How does that work?
Not so much like banging on the shield, just like kind of walking without trying to be stealthy, just like purposefully, like kind of marching my way over there. Okay. Still trying to keep an eye out like around me, but like very much more concerned about who can see me than who I can see.
So go ahead and roll a perception check there at the front as well.
Perception. 16.
16. Okay. As you step forward, you're looking around for anything that might cause concern, anything that might make any noise. Here, this close, you hear a low and you see the rise and fall in the massive spider webs, the bundle of spider webs. You can tell that Daisy's still alive, but it is a shallow breath. And as you walk forward, making a bit of noise, you finally hear a rock move in the large, jagged stone formation about 50 feet away from the tower. And you look to see a spider's leg moving beyond. This one large, probably 6 inches in diameter. With that perception check, you're able to see a spider start to crawl around the edge. Giant in its size, 8 to 10 feet wide.
How close am I to Daisy?
At this point, about 40 feet.
How close am I to the spider?
That would be about 60 feet or so. As you sit and ponder.
I keep walking towards Daisy.
Okay. As you do, the rest of the group sees as well, on top of the watchtower, another spider start to crawl over the top. You can hear the sound of scraping on stone. You see them stop and slowly kind of bob their bodies back and forth and crouch slightly, assessing these intruders to their territory. They crouch down, watching every move.
Do they look
what? You cut out a little.
intelligent?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. 17? Yeah, 17.
Not that you can tell. They seem spider-like in their movement. Nothing that seems overly intelligent by any means.
Okay.
The one that's starting to crawl around the tower, is that within 90 feet of me?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to Hunter's Market.
Okay.
Just for a noted point. And to just kind of keep an eye on it.
Okay, you do so. And you feel your hunter's mark target spider on the tower.
How close am I to Daisy now?
At this point, 25 feet. But as you take a step closer, every step that you take, they take a step closer to you.
Okay, and then there's one that's closer to Daisy than I am, right?
Daisy at the top of the tower. Yeah. You know what? Why don't I show you guys?
Oh, yay.
It's the map, it's the map, it's the map.
Woo! It's how I die, how I die, how I die.
It is never good when the DM says, wait a minute, let me get you a map. And
Let me get you a
That's my
map.
favorite
Winnie
part.
would
What are
be
you talking
inching
about?
forward to keep Urea within 60 feet of her.
Yeah.
So Winnie's going to be inching forward.
Okay.
All right, where are these spiders?
I see the
Here's
spiders.
one that's hunter's marked. Oh God, there's one coming up behind you.
Yeah. That's the first. The one to the right is the first one I saw, right?
Correct. That's the first one you
Wow.
saw. And with every step you were taking closer to Daisy, they were taking a step closer to you as well.
Alright.
And then we have Winnie's right off screen with Acacia a little bit behind that, and the professor off his 60 feet behind Udia.
Just to clarify, I want to make sure that if something dangerous should happen, I am within roughly 60 feet of the giant spiders. That's just how I'm trying to position myself.
Okay, got it. So you're trying to be 60 feet from the spiders, necessarily from where Udia is at.
Yes, that's correct.
Got it. Okay, so we'll move you up a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just hanging with the professor.
Okay, got it.
I think that's probably
with
well, not
Acacia.
right next to. Learned my lesson last time.
Group up. That's the best. The best way.
Probably next to me, huh?
With one big juicy target. Let's do that.
Yeah.
DM.
Uh-huh.
Now that I'm actually seeing like a visual of this, the spider that is behind Yuria, as she's moving forward, and I'm seeing that it's behind her, I would have marked that one.
That one
as
instead?
yeah, just because of where it's positioning itself. That would have been where he would have had his eye. I thought the spider was actually like up in the tower, like maybe behind.
I see.
So
yeah, totally fine. We can totally move that with a better view of the whole setting. That's totally fine. We can move that.
Thank
over
you.
to that one.
Those are also big fucking spiders.
With your insight check of their intelligence, these are big spiders.
Big fucking
Yeah.
spiders.
But they don't look big enough to carry a moorbounder.
Yep. No, they don't.
They both seem to sit back a bit, standing up on their legs more. You see now the teeth of these spiders, these fangs, dripping with some kind of poison or ooze or mucus of some sort, almost as if they're salivating, waiting for all of you to come closer.
Do they look young?
No, not necessarily.
I'll keep getting closer.
Okay. As you step forward another 5 feet, they're going to jump. And with that, we'll need to roll initiative.
I'm gonna give myself advantage on that initiative.
I always have an initiative.
Yeah, I'm so happy for that advantage.
18 for Juwan.
18 for
21. There we go. I put it in the chat.
26.
22.
Wow.
And
Sure,
I think
faster
Acacia's
than
the only
we-
one we need still.
10.
10. Okay. All right. Well, with that then, Winnie, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Oh God. Why am I first?
Because somebody can add her intelligence modifier to her initiative.
Is a dumb thing to take. Oh no! Ah! Winnie is going to cast. I'm not even sure what I want to cast. She's going to cast Mind Sliver on the spider that is, I guess, closest.
Okay. And that's a save, if I remember.
It is an intelligence save at 15.
Okay.
Ooh, Winnie. Ooh, spicy.
Spicy.
So that is going to be a total of 0 on the giant spider roll.
All right. It takes a bit of damage. It takes 1 point of psychic damage.
Hey.
And there's an and to this one.
Okay.
It
1d4 off the next save, right?
It must subtract a d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Oh, great. Okay. Okay, got it. So it will have a negative, a mini bane.
A mini bane.
A mini bane, yeah, a single bane on it for its next saving throw. Got it. Anything else for your turn?
How far is Winnie from the spider up top?
That would be 50, 55, 60, 65 straight away, but then there's also another like 30 feet of height too. So it would be about 70 total.
Well, not if we measure the hypotenuse.
Well,
I was about to be, it's probably like 72.5, but nobody needs to, nobody.
Winnie's going to step forward to try to get within 60 feet of that spider as well.
Okay. I would say if you went 15 feet, you'd be at 70 feet.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. After Winnie, Ulia.
All right. So I'm going to use however much movement I have to get up to Daisy.
Okay. Only takes 10 feet and you are right there.
Awesome. And then I'm going to that spider on top is jumping at me, right?
It's in a pouncing position, yeah, like it's ready to attack.
All right, so I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon, and my fish is gonna pimp slap the one at the top.
Okay, got it. I need to print some kind of fish spiritual weapon.
Fish spiritual weapon.
We'll use this panther for now as the fish spiritual weapon. Go ahead and roll an attack at the spider.
All right. Okay, I need to find a good die on this. All right, this is the one. Oh, okay. 19.
19. Yeah, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Right. Okay, and that is max damage. 11 points of force damage.
Ooh, very nice. You all see the familiar form. What type of fish is it?
I'm gonna go with a trout. I feel like that is a very insulting fish to hit somebody with.
Okay, got it. So you all see the familiar form of Udia's trout spiritual weapon go and slam down on this very confused spider who now has this goopy fish slime all over the top of it, and it kind of jumps and you hear kind of a skittering as it kind of turns towards the fish weapon.
Okay, and then how close is that second spider, the one that's hunter's marked?
About 30 feet from you.
Perfect. You said 30 feet. Oh. DM, is this considered a large creature?
Oh, good question. Let me check the stat block. It is. It is a large beast.
Amazing. You said they're 30 feet away from me.
Correct.
Amazing. I'm gonna stick my hand out, and a giant whip of thorns is gonna come out of my hand, and I'm gonna try to pull this spider towards me.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
All right.
And that'll work. Because Thorn Whip's a cantrip, so go ahead and roll an attack on that.
18.
Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
6d6. Alright, that is 5 points of piercing damage, and it is moved 10 feet closer to me.
10 feet closer. You all see this whip of thorns extend out from Udia's arm and reach out to the spider. It wraps around its abdomen, and you can hear just this pop, pop, pop as the thorns start to pierce into its carapace, and it is pulled 10 feet closer.
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah. So I have like my shield and like thorn whip hand.
Okay, got it. Okay, anything else for your turn?
That is my turn. I just kind of want to like position my body so I am between that spider that's coming towards me and Daisy.
Okay, you are already. Yeah. You could move this way and get a little bit more in front, but I would say that would be it.
All right, yeah. Because I also kind of want to like block her from the one that's jumping down. Cool.
Okay,
that's all.
Okay, Professor Morgan, you are up next.
Okay, am I successfully hidden from the spider?
Not currently. No, you'd have to find something to hide behind.
Oh, okay. I can't see myself on the map.
So you are kind of right here, like right at the edge.
Is that me? Okay.
That's you right there. This is the mini we're using for you here.
Yeah, do I have enough movement to get behind that rock and hide behind it?
This one right here?
Yeah.
So that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. What's your speed?
I think it's just 30.
30? Yeah. So if you got 30, that would be enough to hide from the one up top. The one on the ground would still have line of sight with you.
Okay. I'll try to hide. I'll use my bonus action to hide from the one up top.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm pretty good at that. Come on. 18.
18. Doesn't see you. Yeah, you're successfully hidden.
Yeah. All right. Then I'm going to just attack it with my... you'll see. Because I haven't used it before. And let's hope it works. Yeah?
Well, it's something that's ranged?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Go ahead and... Well, you do have to at least declare what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's my Psychic Blade.
Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll an attack.
And I got a crit.
Ooh.
My first attack ever is a crit.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll some damage.
No, it didn't double the sneak attack damage, though.
No, crits double the sneak attack damage.
So hold on. That's, what do you say? Did it double anything?
You have to right click and actually tell it to do it. If you just want to double the dice amount and then add your modifier, that will be
damage. Okay. So that's 12 plus 10 plus 7. 12 plus 10 plus 7. Which is 29 points. 29.
Very nice. What is actually sorry, go ahead.
Now that it worked, I will describe what it looks like.
Describe what it looks like, and while you're doing it, flavor it as a fatality for me, because that was enough to take out this spider.
Okay, got it. Very good. So you ever see like a really good sleight of hand magician, like just pull something out of thin air?
Oh yeah.
If you've seen that, I do that to one of the psychic blades. I would say it's like rust colored, and it has a slight curve to it. And I sort of look at my hand, and I just kind of intuit that I can do this, and I just pull it out of thin air, and I throw it, but it doesn't arc like there's gravity. It just goes completely straight, and it hits the spider, and it sort of dissipates into the spider, and kind of like the rust, kind of like electricity in animation. When something gets electrocuted, like the electricity scatters all over it. But instead of scattering all over it, it goes right up to the head and all converges there, and the spider just kind of falls over.
And it just kind of twitches like a dead spider hit with raid as it's getting this psychic damage.
The body is undamaged, though. The body is fine, perfectly harvestable and stuff.
Okay, got it. Okay, anything else for your turn?
No, that's
Okay. All right, Juwan, you're up next.
Alrighty, well, we'll see how well this works, and hopefully it does damage. I'm going to attempt to pounce this giant spider as it gets pulled. So I'm going to start running towards the spider 10 feet, and
Okay.
as I do so, I'm going to rub the ring on my finger, and everybody will sort of hear like a grasshopper chirp. And I'm going to use my ring of jumping to cast jump on myself, and I'm going to jump. I have 42 feet of forward momentum, and I want to essentially just crash into the spider with both of my swords out and just like crash into it, hopefully.
Okay, so not going for an attack, just
Yeah, if I could roll something for flavor to be able to pull off some damage, cool. If not, I completely understand because it's an action to use the ring.
sure, totally. So what I'd say, go ahead on this one, roll either athletics or acrobatics for me, just to kind of shift yourself in a way that you will do damage as you are a
Let's
moving
go
force at this spider.
Let's go acro.
Got it.
Okay, 18 on the die, plus
Ooh.
5, 20, wait, 23.
23. And what's your damage dice for your swords?
They're D6s.
D6. So go ahead and with a 23, roll just actually roll your regular attack. Give me like a D6 plus your mod.
Okay, with the hunter's mark as well?
Yeah.
Or, okay, cool. Let's see. That mod is plus 5. Okay, so 4, 2, 6, 5. 11 points of piercing damage.
11 points. Wow. All right, you create. Juwan turns himself into a flying missile with swords sticking out. I will say, as you jump, you hit the spider, and you hold your swords in such a way that it is able to get a good slice in on the spider. As you do, I will say that both you and the spider are knocked prone.
I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Anything else for your turn?
That'll be the end of it.
Okay. The spider is next. It is going to, with Jawan in front of him, having hurled himself at the spider, it's going to try and take its bite attack against Jawan. And that's going to be a 17 to hit.
Excuse me. Oh bother. Hey, spider, don't do that. Silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs. Got it. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. What's the range on silvery barbs?
60.
60. All right. So re-roll it is. That is a natural 5. So that's going to be a miss.
Hey.
Nice.
John, you see it stand up and jump out to bite at you as you're prone onto the ground. And it, as it does, you see a silvery flash of light come from Winnie's hands as it misses its attack against you.
All right. And then who's next? I'm going to give advantage to whoever.
Acacia is up next in the initiative order
All right,
for the
Acacia,
group.
you may have advantage on your next attack roll.
Okay. So with that is the spider's turn next. As you cast your silvery barbs, Winnie and Jawan, you stare down the spider that is in front of you. All of you feel bum, 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 vibration through the ground. As you look and see over the watchtower, crawling across the web on the side, a much larger spider. And it comes around using its climbing speed Don't want to spin that. And then is going to get on the ground and use a dash to move forward towards the closest to it.
Oh, Acacia,
if
that's
you- if-
Acacia,
if you
that's
can
advantage
hear-
on attack roll, ability check, or saving throw for you.
Yeah, if you can hear Professor Mayfield, he sees the big spider and he's like, "Oh, fascinating."
No, wait, that's
I didn't
coming
know
right
they
at
got
me.
that
I just
big.
used my reaction. Right, row.
Is that going at Wendy?
I hate
It's going towards Winnie
spiders!
and came around the side, and that is the closest thing to
Yep,
to
That's
it
okay.
currently.
She's easy to hit. That's okay.
Yeah. So with that, it used its action to move as close as it could. So that is all it can do. Acacia, it is your turn next.
Acacia, you have advantage on your next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Okay. I'm going to. I know I'm not on the map. How far away?
You
is Winnie?
just off the edge, so 5 feet would put you on the map.
Okay,
You're right here.
Is Winnie close enough that I could get to her, or in between her and the big spider?
You could. It would put you directly right here in between her. That would use all of your movement and put you right there.
That's totally fine. I will do that. And bonus action cast Shield of Faith on myself.
No, that's a good one.
And for the first time in this campaign, I am going to. Well, I guess technically it's the second time. Yeah, it's the second time I pulled this thing out. She's going to pull her mace out and take a swing at this thing.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty
With
20.
advantage.
Oh yeah.
That was with advantage.
Okay. That definitely hits. You swing down your mace at one of its large legs and land. You feel a cracking. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Hold on. Did it roll? 3. 3 damage.
3 points of damage. Okay, got it. You feel the mace hit the hard outer shell of the spider, and you don't expect the force needed to crack through. You see some cracks in it, but don't feel that it did a ton.
Alrighty. Well, that's that. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Daisy is actually last in the initiative. She is got nothing to do, but we will pass her turn as well. Winnie, we are back to you. What would you like to do?
All right. Winnie's got all her stuff back. Winnie is going to cast Fairy Fire.
Ooh, okay. And what's the save on that?
Thank
On the
you.
big one. On the big one. It is a DC 15 Dexterity.
Okay.
Spicy.
Now that would also what? Yeah, I guess you could aim it over here if you're trying to miss Acacia, kind
Yeah,
of
she's
the
not
backside
going
of
to
the
center
spider.
it. She's going to position it so that
Got it.
that the spider's at the edge of it.
Okay, so the spider's
Yeah,
gonna roll
not
here.
getting Acacia.
That's a 19 total.
Oh, darn. That thing is dexterous. Shoot. That's about all she can do. Can she back up without taking an opportunity attack?
Yes, you are 10 feet away from it, and Acacia is in between you and the spider.
All right, she's going to back up. She's actually going to move sideways, laterally, about 20 feet
Towards Uya?
towards the other one. Just keeping her eye on everybody. Well,
That'd
no,
be
stay not that close. Like back
That'd be 15.
on the same horizontal plane as.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like there.
There we go. Yeah, good enough.
Gotcha.
So she's splitting the difference between everybody, keeping everybody within her aura, her
Okay, got
range
it.
of ability. Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Uya.
think I don't have any bonus actions. That's a bunch of BS. I gotta
You
find
try
some
rogue.
bonus actions. That's it. For me.
And take
Okay, got it.
get level in cleric. Get that spiritual weapon. Get a couple levels of cleric.
No,
All right. I'm trying. I know that my fish is not gonna make it to the spider, but I'm gonna try to move my fish as close to the spider as I possibly can.
Too big one?
To the big one, yeah.
We'll drop down there. I'll say with the drop, I don't usually count drops as movement, so I'll say it gets close enough that next turn it can hit it.
All right, cool. And then I am going to. Yeah, I have no sense of self-preservation. I'm gonna run at it and reach out and touch its like the soft part of its belly and cast inflict wounds on it.
Okay. You run up the 20 feet and reach out with necrotic energy crackling from your fingertips. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Fuck yeah! It's a natural 20.
Yeah, nice. All right, go ahead and roll some damage. That's big.
Hell yeah, that's 6 d10. Do I have that many d10?
Ooh,
I don't
wow.
think so. Okay. Okay. Alright, so 10, 20, 31 points of necrotic damage.
You see this necrotic energy run through the spider, and it almost like the psychic energy running through the one that had died on top of the tower. This runs through this giant spider, and you can see it start to shake and try and withstand the pain, and it looks wobbly after it does. That hurt quite a bit.
That's my turn.
Okay, good turn. Professor, you're up next.
Yeah, I'd like to move just behind. That's Winnie, right? The one in the middle with the big mace.
Correct.
Yeah, we're just gonna move just behind her.
Okay.
Hello, friend. And then I'm gonna throw my first psychic blade at the biggest spider.
Okay.
Let me just do that. That's a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
For 16 damage.
Okay.
And he's not dead. I'll use my bonus action to throw my other psychic blade.
Okay. You throw one and it hits it at the top, and it kind of you hear a hissing noise come from it as it takes the damage. Still up after that.
Then it's 22 to hit, and that is 8 psychic damage.
Okay. With that, another one goes, hits a leg this time, and you see the leg kind of starts to go a little bit limp. It's flailing around. It's looking really hurt.
That's my turn.
All right, Jawan, you are up next.
Alrighty. I think Juan's gonna sort of roll to his side and scramble to his feet. And as he does, he'll take a stab at the big spider.
Okay. Going over here.
The big spider.
Just the one
in front
over
of him.
Okay, got
The big spider, not the giant spider.
The little big
huge
spider.
spider.
Big spider.
All right. And we have, 18 plus 7 be 25 to hit.
Yeah, definitely hit. Throw some damage on that one.
All right, and we'll do just the die in the hunter's mark. Since piercing damage, I'm going to re-roll this 2
Nice.
for another 2, so stubborn.
New feats, who dis?
Right? So that'll be 8, 13 piercing damage.
Nice. You slice through your sword, and you actually are able to hit one of the fangs, cutting off the edge of the fang, and you can see this green blood spilling out of it.
Then, if it is still standing, I will, with my bonus action, take another swing with my other short sword. Yeah. Oh, natural 20. What a waste on a bloody, bloody, bloody thing. But I'll take it. I get to roll all the click clacks. Makes me
roll
happy.
some click clacks on that one.
Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna use my swarm this time. So I have 4 d6s. Huzzah! Okay, not bad, not bad. 4, 8, 12, 17, plus 5, 22 points.
Flavor that fatality.
So, as he sees the blood start to spray from the one fang, and it opens up its mouth, he sort of takes his short sword, and he reaches up and sticks it in its mouth, or what little bit of mouth he can find purchase on, and tries to like stick it down to the ground.
And you take it and stab it, and you stab through it, almost piercing the ground itself, pull it out with a loud sucking sound as it falls to the ground, with each of its legs slowly deflating as it is dead.
And then he will, with the bountifulness of a flea, run 10 feet towards the big spider and jump again.
Oh, okay.
If it puts him the other side of it, like I said, he's got it's 42 feet technically. So
you could get, so with 40 you could get kind of like over here on this side of Acacia, or you could get over here closer to the watchtower.
Is it short enough that his arc could put him on its back?
If that's something you wanted to do.
I wouldn't ask if it wasn't.
Acacia and Udia, you see from behind you, leaping like a flea, Joanne jump and land down on the top of the spider.
I don't think you can ride them.
I'm trying to ride it. Let's kill this fucker.
As you land, you feel almost like this. There's like a fur around this large spider that are sharp and needle-like. As you land, you do take 3 points of piercing damage.
You're gonna get a splinter.
Not the worst.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
That'll be it.
Okay. It is the spider's turn next. With 2 around and a third on its back, it's going to turn to Udia, who pumped a lot of damage into it last turn. Knowing that it came from there, it's going to turn with its bite attack. It's going to be a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Excuse me. What bother? Silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs. That's 19 to hit on the second one.
That still hits.
Still hits.
Hi.
You see a flash of light as Winnie tries to silvery barbs and distract this spider again. And although it worked on the smaller one, this one is larger. Its eyes, the size of baseballs, is able to see out of one of the 8 of them, still able to attack Udia. You take 7 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 18.
18. So you do save, so you're not considered poisoned, and you only take half damage.
Do I?
For a total of, let's see, 11, for 7 points of poison damage.
Or, I can absorb elements and not take any damage.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, cool. Does that work on poison? I didn't know that.
I mean, I thought absorb elements just like made you take like half or resistance.
It gives you resistance after, but the triggering damage, the triggering attack, you don't take any.
Ah, I see.
No, I didn't know that worked on poison. I need to add that. All right.
Okay. So with that, it is now, let's see here, Acacia's turn. Acacia, at the start of your turn, you feel some of these sharp splines coming off of this giant spider. You take 4 points of piercing damage at the start of your turn.
All right. Alrighty, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? I'm going to, I guess, crack down with mace again.
Okay, another mace attack.
19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
2.
2 points of damage as you can't quite seem to get a soft spot that is able to break through easily. You slam down on one of its legs, making some cracks in its outer shell, but not making much purchase besides that.
And we're going to bonus action cast Word of Radiance, so I need a Constitution save DC 15.
Ooh. Okay. That is a total of 10, so that will be a failure.
That'll be 4 points of radiant damage.
Nice. As you swing down with your mace, your symbol to the Everlight starts to glow, and you see underneath Joanne a bit of divine light expands out from the spider, dealing 4 damage to it.
All right, that's it for me.
Okay. Winnie, you look around, you see Uya and Acacia swinging away, trying to hit the spider with Joanne riding it rodeo style. What do you do?
All right. Well, I gave my advantage to the professor from the silvery barbs.
Okay.
And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I'm going to cast. I'm just gonna cast firebolts. Why not?
Okay, go ahead and roll some damage on that, or roll an attack.
12.
12 is unfortunately going to miss. You send off your firebolt, and it hits the outer shell, or the outer carapace of the spider, and unfortunately just dissipates off of it.
All right. Well, I think I'm just gonna sit tight and just wait.
Okay, got it. Udia, you're up next. At the beginning of your turn, while your attacks have been effective, you do feel these needle-like hairs coming off of the spider, and you take 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay. And I'm okay. So fish makes it to spider at this point, right?
Yes.
Right. So I'm gonna hit the spider with the fish.
With the fish, okay.
With the fish, would this count as a melee attack for my absorb elements, or would I need to do it myself?
It would need to be yourself.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Hell fucking yeah! That's another crit on my spiritual weapon.
Nice. Yeah, roll
This-
some damage on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm putting this dice on the good spot. You're being good today. 12 plus 2, 15 points of force damage.
Nice. You slam down on the back of it, and Joanne, you feel as you're riding it, all of a sudden it drops down on the ground, and you feel kind of this shaking movement as it does. You struggle to hold on, but you're able to get your footing.
All right, I have a very important question before
Sure.
I do whatever it is I'm gonna do. Is Daisy still breathing?
Daisy is still breathing, yes.
All right, cool. I'm gonna fuck up this spider. And Joe one goes next. Okay, I'm gonna. No, that's not. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna do another first level inflict wounds on the spider.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
That's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, definitely hits. You grab the spider's leg now as it's having a hard time dodging the attacks as you all are hammering down on it more and more.
As I'm just manhandling it. Alright, that is 15 points of necrotic damage.
Flavor that fatality for me. How does the spider die as you reach out and grab it?
I'm gonna fuck up the spider in the most humiliating way possible, but just kind of like lightly touching it and running towards Daisy.
Acacia and Juwan, you see this closest. Udia has some divine energy wrap around her as she reaches out and with a pointer finger only touches the spider and turns around and runs towards Daisy. And with that, we are out of combat.
I'm gonna go. I have a healer's kit. If Daisy needs, I don't know if it works on. Yeah, it works on animals because they're creatures.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I will stabilize Daisy so that Daisy
Okay.
doesn't have to make like death saves or die or anything.
So-
doesn't heal her. It just makes her not die for a bit.
Right. What I'll say is that you get up to Daisy, and Daisy is covered in
right.
this webbing that is sharp. You try and grab down, and you cut your hand on it. As she's breathing, you can see that part of the shallow breathing is trying to avoid being cut more and more on this web that she's caught in.
I will take out a dagger and gently, I'm very gentle, try to like cut through the webbing, to free Daisy.
Okay. Just roll a general dexterity check for me on that.
Sure. All right. Sleight of hand is the same thing. 18.
18. What's your dex? Or what was
it? It was plus 6. That's my modifier.
Okay,
So
I see. You're not proficient in something. Got it. Okay.
No.
Okay, so you're able to reach and cut enough that you're able to get in and try and do some healing on Daisy. Go ahead and roll a medicine check on that to stabilize.
No, the healer's kit just stabilizes.
Oh, just stabilize? Okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I will work off the use or something. But.
So you see the breathing still happening. Daisy is, for now at least, safe from death.
Friends, I've done what I can, but I'm not really a doctor, so someone else should take a look now that the web's out of the way. And I take a step back.
Can I?
Clerics your wounds? Because they don't always.
When I come in, like as soon as I get to Daisy, like before Professor Mayfield and stuff, like I'll start like sacred flaming all of the web so that it's all away from her.
Okay. Between the two of you kind of cutting and working on the healing kit, burning through the web, you notice as you burn some of the web that there is a little bit of chance of it burning Daisy also. Go ahead and just roll me a general wisdom check, with that being your spellcasting modifier, just for kind of representing control of your magic to do this.
Natural 20.
Oh yeah, totally fine. You are in the zone and trying to get this moorbounder free, and between the fire and the cutting with the daggers, you're able to get her free, and you see cuts and scrapes all over this large moorbounder, probably the largest that any of you have ever seen. Not that most of you have seen many moorbounders, but Muini, at the very least, you know that Daisy's the largest moorbounder that you've seen. And as the web is finally removed, you see kind of weakly raise her head, open her fish-like eyes, the odd rectangular pupils.
Oh, Daisy. Winnie actually prepared cure wounds because some of our clerics are more fighters than healers. Does anybody have healing? I have some of everybody else doesn't.
I feel like that was targeted at me. I feel called out.
Yeah, we got it. Okay, Jester. That's okay. Damage is important.
I don't like to heal.
Jawan, you're over inspecting the one of the large spiders, the one that you had killed most recently. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me to see what you are able to harvest off of this. And while you do that, I'm going to bring up my harvesting guide.
I wrote it in the chat, but since you're typing, I'm going to start ritual casting Speak with Animals.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's only a 6.
A 6? Okay. Let me see what that will get you. Okay, so with a 6, you're not able to get much. You are able to harvest 2 of the actual spider legs if you'd like to take those. But beyond that, nothing else.
We'll take it.
Okay. You're sure at this point that you could probably find somebody that would eat this in Asarius if it wasn't something you're interested in.
Eat one and mount one.
Okay, got it. Okay, Udia, you are ritual casting Speak with Animals. What about Acacia? What are you doing at this point?
I was going to cast. We'll do second level Cure Wounds on Daisy.
Okay, you do so, and you see some of the small wounds in particular. Go ahead and roll that healing for me just to get an idea. 9. Okay, got it. Yeah, some of the small wounds start to heal, and you see one in particular that looks like where the fangs bit down into Daisy's neck, and you see it start to close, and as it does, it expels what looks like some kind of toxin or poison from the wound. Daisy now has the strength to roll over onto her side. You see these large tusks now. She stands up next to Udia and Acacia, Professor and Winnie here, and starts to reach out and with a little bit with tusk, a little bit with face, take the time to nudge each one of you in a show of gratitude. And we'll say that Udia, your Speak with Animals goes off.
All right. I'll kind of still like sitting on the ground. I'll reach out and say, "Hi, Daisy.
Hi.
Your dad sent us."
Zorth.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your help. Could not move.
What happened?
The spider came and attacked me in my home, looking for big food.
All right. Do you think you can walk with us back, or do you need us to help?
I can walk now, but can't carry.
That's okay. If you need to rest, this only lasts for a little while, but if you need to stop and rest, just kind of nudge me.
Oh, you cut out a little there. I heard "just nudge me" was the last thing I heard.
Oh, it's my internet's being fabulous again.
It's been great the whole time. It's so much better than the last time. That was like one of the first times it was a substantial cutoff. Oh no, can't hear you again now. Oh no.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I think, yeah. So I just said if she needs to stop, just to nudge me so that I can tell the group, because the speak with animals is going to end, and I don't want her to like hurt herself trying to walk or something.
Thank you. I will. And Winnie, while this is happening, you remember Zorth talking about the giant spider eggs being valuable. Go ahead and if you're looking around, go ahead and roll an investigation check to see if you can look around this watchtower and find any giant spider eggs.
I will do so. Can anybody help me? Hey guys, remember?
I'm available. I don't mind looking around.
Can I get okay? Can I roll with
Help with what? I got cut off for a second.
Remember, we need to find the eggs. Remember the eggs?
Oh, sure, I'll help.
Yeah, you can roll with advantage with Joanne and Professor's help. The three of you look to
Ooh,
see if you can
26. Sending that to the group. Yeah.
Nice. So what you do is you look around and you see it's kind of tough because you're looking from the ground and you look, and about halfway up the staircase around the other side of the tower where it's fully covered by web, you see a small mound of what are small softball size eggs. And you see little twitching on the inside. You're able to find where the eggs were here on this watchtower.
Oh, I think they're up there, guys. Is anybody good at climbing? I'm not.
To clarify, you can just walk the steps, but there's web covering it, so there'd be some level of like cutting through.
Okay. Well, I'll just now that Daisy's out, I'll just firebolt the webs.
Okay.
And just burn them away.
Okay, you doing?
Like
spreading.
Oh, okay. Let's load up these eggs. How many eggs?
With that high of an investigation check, roll a d20 for me.
Ooh. Okay, let me go over here. Go on here. There it comes. Roll to everyone. Oh, what did I get? 6. 6?
You find 6 giant spider eggs.
Okay, well, could be worse. Yeah. Winnie notoriously rolls crap. It doesn't matter. Real dice. Dice.
Hey, are giant spiders domesticatable?
Not when they're dead.
Anything is domesticatable if you try hard enough.
I do have proficiency in animal handling.
Well, let's
so do I.
Back. How much do the Moorbounders weigh, by the way?
A lot. I mean, Daisy, with the size she is, probably weighs, a minimum of 600 to 700 pounds.
Oh, okay. I was going to try to use the disc as a stretcher, but
yeah, a little heavy
not
for that.
Quite powered high enough. Okay.
Okay, you gather up the giant spider eggs, make sure that Daisy is okay. Anything else?
Help her, like you can just put some of her weight on it.
To do what?
Just do my floating disc.
Oh, okay, sure.
It only holds 500 pounds, but she can just put some of her weight on it, or just to help her.
You can kind of put the front paws and just walk the back paws
put
along.
it under her stomach or something to take some of the weight off.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Gives Daisy a nice light load. And does anybody want to do anything else besides head back to Asarius?
Juwan's definitely keeping his head on a swivel. Make sure we're not like being followed or watched, for that matter.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
While he's doing that, can someone remind me what was the need for the eggs again?
They're worth money, and we need.
I want to keep one. Am I allowed to keep one? That could be fun.
Okay. That can be your share. We sent out 6 eggs, and there's 5 of us, so we have an extra.
Yeah.
Question. Is there a door to the interior of the tower?
No. It looks like there may be something that was, it might be a place where people could be on top of it and see a pretty good distance over this what's mostly flat landscape.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have any interior to it at all.
All right. If I go all the way to the top, when I was going up to the top with Winnie, is there, like, as I view the horizon, are there any holes?
Oh, go ahead and roll perception check also. And we can figure that. And Joanne, what was your perception check?
18.
18, pretty good. I would say that at this point, you start to see a little bit of small wildlife, and already things seem a little bit more, less scared of the area, I suppose, just in the immediate vicinity. You don't see anybody that seems concerning or anybody that might be observing you out here at this point, though.
14 for me.
14. From up here on top of the watchtower, you can actually see in the far, far distance the Sarosep waters. At least, the horizon. You can see the flat kind of blue coloration of the Sarosep waters. You can see the river, and from this distance, you can easily see Asarius. You look out, and out in the distance, probably about a mile outside of Asarius, you see a large war tortoise going through some kind of training with a few of the Aurora Watch that are around it. I don't see any holes, though.
Okay.
With Professor Mayfield, are you what are you doing with your egg, Professor Mayfield? How are you storing this, and what are you?
How big is the egg?
Softball sized.
Softball. I'm just gonna hold on to it for now, or put it in my. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it for now. I'll put it in my backpack if something crazy happens, but
literally hold the whole.
Just literally hold it. It's fine.
Okay, got it. Okay. So the party walks the couple of miles back to Asarius. Jawan keeping his eyes out, watching for anybody who might be tracking or following. It's a peaceful trip. And you return to the Zorth's pits with Daisy in tow. And as she walks through the entrance archway that you all had walked through a few hours previously, you hear a loud and happy exclamation. You found Daisy! And you see running up without his arms, Zorth running towards her, and he does a jump up, and you see with almost like frog-like ability, bends down and jumps up and wraps his legs around her neck and dangles upside down, kind of swinging back and forth. Daisy, you're safe! It's so good to see you! Thank you so much! He's yelling as he's hanging upside down. Lost in this moment before attending to anything else. And you see Daisy kind of happy for the first time. She kind of does a little bit of a gallop and jumps around, used to this game where Zorth jumps on and hangs on with his legs. But he rights himself, gets back on the ground. I can't tell you how much this means to me. And he's just the biggest smile of just happiness and relief on his face. All right, come on. I'm sure you want payment now. And he leads you over to a pen that has a small fence. It is wooden as well, kind of scrapped together, and you all see small panther-like, tailless, very tall-backed, but at this point only about 2 feet tall, with just itty-bitty little tusks coming out of their panther-like face with their fish eyes. He takes you over to a small pen with baby moorbounder cubs. He says, all right, it's up to you. You can take your pick. 2 of them are yours.
Ooh, I will play with them and see if I can like.
Oh, so cute.
So a question for you.
Sure.
And I'll kind of like guide him to the side. and ask him how much for the one that I talked to earlier.
Oh, the bigger one. He says, oh, right, that one. Oh, well, the normal price for a moorbound is about 750 gold pieces for a full-grown one. We've got a variety of uses. Given that you just brought back Daisy, I'm feeling quite generous, and 500 gold pieces for your group if you want to take that one.
Can you hold that price for me for a day or two?
Yes, you brought back Daisy! You saved her! What took her?
Really big spider. Multiple large spiders.
That's so fucking scary! You all killed it?
Yeah, we did.
Well, you can bet your asses I'll be telling everyone here in the pits how great you all are. What should I tell them your names?
You should tell them that Winnie was especially great.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's been fantastic. I love Winnie. Winnie, you're my favorite bugbear now.
Oh, no, it wasn't me at all.
Oh, don't be so humble. We know you. It was you, Winnie.
Oh, no, I couldn't have. We did it all together, and I hardly did anything.
Oh, well, if it was all together, what's the name of your group? What should I tell everybody that saved Daisy?
Oh, I'm afraid we don't have one yet, but maybe we'll have a meeting and think of one.
Well, if you do, tell me. I'll be happy to spread the word.
Okay. We did find a bunch of eggs. Spider eggs.
Oh, fantastic.
Do you know where we can sell them?
I can. Yes, absolutely. And he kind of starts thinking, it's there's an orc who deals with insects. His name is Grimshaw. And he gives you directions. It's not terribly far, probably about a 10-minute walk in the Pits neighborhood still.
Okay. And 2 of these baby moorbounders are ours now?
Yes. And Professor Mayfield, go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
With pleasure.
Playing with some of the cubs here.
Is it not rolling? Did I roll it? Hold on. 18.
18, nice. So there's a total in here of about 12 moorbounder cubs. And as you're in here, some of them are playing with each other. Some of them are now coming over and sniffing you a little bit more. But there is one in particular. Most of them kind of have a purplish, a pale purple look. Some of them have a little bit darker. But this one is mostly black fur with purple streaks along its kind of back ridge that goes along their really tall back, and has most of them have like a yellowish eyes, but this one has some green eyes, and looks up and sees you and kind of starts nuzzling against you. And in this group, you also see another pale purple one, kind of the smallest of the group. Really, looks like it might be a runt. Maybe it doesn't look like these are all from the same litter necessarily, but the smallest one here is kind of off in the corner. Doesn't stand up or even get up from laying down as the group's in here in this area.
I figure we should keep this to a group decision since, we all had our part to play, except for Winnie, who played double everyone else. I'm kind of fond of this one, and I point to the one that's nuzzling against me and give it a little scritches. What do y'all think?
Well, they're all nice, but how are we going to keep them?
That is an excellent question.
They're mounts. We can stable them.
We'll have to ask. And how much does that cost?
Yeah.
They really should do some home checks before they just.
Listen, if you don't want them all bounders, you can go get something else. That's totally fine. I've got other animals. I just assumed that you'd mind all bounders. They're pretty valuable around here.
We just don't know how to keep them. Can we keep them here with you?
I'll teach you. Normally, the purchase price is training. I teach you how to deal with the animals. These are vicious creatures if they're not properly, properly worked with.
Oh, no, they don't seem vicious
lost
at
someone,
all.
I
And
think.
she scritches one on the head. Yeah,
They can be sweet too. Obviously, Daisy's the sweetest girl, but they can be sweet too.
Okay, yeah, let's do the training. Let's pick out 2, and we'll keep them here for a while, and then we'll figure out what's next after that.
Well,
I'll kind of come back to the group and be like, Winnie, you've never had a mount before, like a horse?
Oh
Or
no, no,
Oh, how do you get places?
we walk.
What if it's really far?
I've never gone anywhere really far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can just like stable most animals, and it's pretty common.
Well, right, but it costs money, right?
Yeah, normally, but not that much money.
says, I'll keep him here now for free. I don't think you understand what you just took on and killed. It's not just saving Daisy. you, the whole town is more safe now.
Okay. Well, that if it doesn't cost anything to board them, then that's good.
And he kind of scrunches up his face a little bit. I mean, not forever for free, but for now.
All right. Well, we have some jobs, and if we get paid, if we can do one of the other jobs and get paid, we'll be rich.
Well, fantastic. You can build your own stables then. You can buy saddles and everything you need for them.
Yeah, but I'm afraid those tasks are even harder than killing spiders, so I don't know.
Winnie, remember, think positive. You got this.
Okay.
Let's go sell those eggs. I think
Yeah,
that'll be.
let's see what we can get for the eggs. I have spell paper to buy. Being a wizard is really expensive.
Oh my god, it is so expensive.
I don't know why. Your poor character and a wizard. What was I thinking?
Yeah. I'll go over to the moorbounder I talked to earlier and kind of scratch it and say, I'm coming back for you, buddy.
Here.
And give it another piece of fish.
And a low kind of almost a purring coming from the moorbounder. And surrounded by the smells of the pit's neighborhood here in Zorth's pits, ready to head off to find Grimshaw's dealer to see if he will buy these giant spider eggs, and thinking about the day and the effect that this group is having in Asarius. So we're going to end session for the day.
Woo! Woohoo!
So thank you for everybody who's tuning in or watching the VOD later. We do have 2 spots open in this campaign. So if you would like to join yourself, you can check the link down below to follow to startplaying.games, and you can join Sanctums and Spies yourself and get in on this moorbounder craziness, as the group now has 2, soon to be 3, it sounds like, moorbounders here at Asarius. With that, we will be next week is Thanksgiving, so we won't be back here on Thursday, but we will catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.